The person who has always been their hero. AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
As cooler weather slowly creeps into Kansas this fall, the weather team from HutchPost.com and KS Storm Info continue to keep an eye on the ever-changing weather patterns this time of year. Remember, if severe weather breaks out, you can always trust to have up-to-date information from HutchPost.com and BW Radio. Powered by Allstate Insurance Agent Andrew Parr, Stamatic of Central Kansas Cleaning and Restoration, and Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hutchinson's voice for news, talk, and sports is KWBW Hutchinson, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM. It's 6 o'clock.
This is the Kansas Kickoff Show. Powered by KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas. The only statewide high school pregame show in Kansas starts now.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to week number 6 of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implements, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from KPreps.com, Chet Coupland from Sports in Kansas, who's presented by Mammoth Sports Construction and Watco, and KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. I am Sean Boston. Great to have you along as we preview week number 6 of the high school football season here in the Sunflower State. In our first segment, we'll take a look back at week number 5, what stood out to us. In our second segment, we'll take a look at the rankings from Class 6A down through Class 8 Division 2. In our third and final segment of tonight's show, we will take a look at some of the top matchups to watch here in week number 6. All right, Matt, here we are in a week number 6, and things are really starting to take shape here down the stretch as we get ready for the postseason. But what stood out to you about week number 5?
Yeah, looking back at week 5, I mean, obviously we had some big-time matchups and some highly ranked teams go down. I mean, you talk about Lawrence Free State, a team that was 0-6 last year, beating defending champion 5A champion Mill Valley 41-20 in that one. Now, Free State is obviously much better and much improved than they were a year ago when they dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of COVID issues. But ending Mill Valley's 11-game win streak in that one, 41-20. So the Firebirds are a team just outside the top 5 in Class 6A. Mill Valley, is still going to be heard from, and obviously playing up a class there, but that was a great game. Blue Valley pulling away from Blue Valley North. Those two were ranked 3 and 4, and Blue Valley pulls away for a big win that we'll talk about a little bit later. So a lot of good games in the upper classes. You move down and look, and how about Wamego, Sean? I mean, Wamego beats Paola 22-21 in overtime, and we say overtime, but Wamego has already played 3 overtime games out of the 5, and they've played a total of 8 overtimes. They have played 1 4-overtime game, a 3-overtime game, and now this one. So just an incredible resiliency for the Redders week in and week out. And I think they're standing at 4-1, and so a team that's actually had success there. Also standing out, Cheney and Pratt. What a great game that was, and Cheney really handled Pratt in that one and won 27-14. And then, of course, let's talk about the 8-man showdown. Canton, Galva, and Little River, number 1 and number 3 last week in the poll, and Little River holds on and wins that one 60-52, and just all you would want in an 8-man shootout, in an 8-man game, and a really high-level football game. So those two teams certainly going to be factors in 8-man Division 1. And as you mentioned, we're getting close to playoff time. Now we're in week 3 of districts, and we'll start to take some of those playoff qualifiers will start to take shape and start to have teams clinching district championships or district or playoff spots. And so it's an exciting time of year as we go ahead down the stretch.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. All right, Chet, let's go to you. How some of the stat leaders across the Sunflower State entering week 6?
Passing yards in Kansas after 5 weeks. Henry Martin continues to impress, over 1,700 yards passing. Blake Reeder, who played a receiver tight end position last year for Shawnee Mission Northwest, 1,361 yards, stepping in for Ty Black this year, and they've had a nice season. Of course, Riot Drohard, a kid that hasn't played football since the 8th grade, he's 3rd in the state of passing at 12:08. Mac Armstrong of Bishop Miege, a first-year starter at 11:90. Dalton Whitworth, a first-year starter of Rock Creek at 11:29. Dylan Dunn, continues to have an impressive season for Blue Valley Southwest. Dagan Kruger of Silver Lake. Of course, Kruger and Silver Lake, they always seem to have one there at the quarterback spot over the years, over 1,000. And Camden Barta, of course, of Topeka Seaman, has had a huge year as well. Luke Gibhart out of Southeast Saline, the junior, they're unbeaten. Lance Hoffsommer has over 1,400 yards this year as well. Don't have his updated stats, but we know he's near the leaders in the state. Then, of course, Caden Johnson and Harrison Voth, who square off this week, also having outstanding season. Caden Martinez didn't play last week, but still leads the state. He's in six-man from Natoma, 1,275 yards. Holden Barker of Crest, but Evan Cantu may be the most impressive back in the state this year. Out of May South, they're unbeaten, 5A, 1,149 yards. Chase County's Mitch Budke, 1,080 yards. They take on Madison this week. Legend Robinson has stepped up big for Hoisington, a state runner-up last year. Keandre Smith of Caldwell over 1,000. Eli Lang of Mineola over 1,000 as well as Keon Miller of 5-0 Concordia in 3A with 938 yards. Receiving leaders in Kansas, how about Tyson Struber going to Kansas State at the next level? 760 yards in the 8-man level for Canton Galva, who won it all 2 years ago. Also look at Jet Vincent and Jay Schoen of the 8-man level as well of Wheatland Grinnell and Lakeside. Those are some stat leaders across the state of Kansas.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll step aside for our first timeout. When we return, we will take a look at the rankings again from Class 6A down through 8-man Division 2. You're tuned into the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Here at American Implement, we're proud to be part of the communities we serve. And that's the reason we support local youth through scholastic activities like FFA, 4-H band, and sports. We firmly believe that the right activity can bring out the best qualities every child has to offer. And we wholeheartedly want to support and be involved with that. It's part of our responsibility as a good neighbor, and we're proud to call your community our home also.
Fall is in the air, and so is a crisp new deal at Nextech Wireless. Loyal customers and newbies alike, trade in your tired old device, get a new phone on us. Stuck somewhere else? No worries. We'll pay off your contract so you're free to switch and free to choose your new free phone. So visit the right people with the right deals and get the best phone on the best network. It's time for something different. Nextech Wireless. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Seatbelts Are For Everyone is a proud partner of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Seatbelts are for everyone.
When we do our safe observations at our school, almost everybody is on their phone.
A lot of students at the school and even adults always need to reply to that text or email or phone call or whatever while they're driving.
Having everybody focus on the road would be probably one of the biggest challenges we have.
I'd like to see a lot more people pay attention to what's going on. I always do my best to pay attention. I'm not on my phone. I don't think any text message is as important as your life.
I think a lot of people are on their phone while they're driving to kind of keep up a social image when really, in the long run, it doesn't matter more than your life or the life of somebody else.
The Think Before You Post Power of Social Media Tour has been in over 160 schools in Kansas. The message is great to talk about social media etiquette, viral posting, digital citizenship, online reputation, online criminal activity, texting and driving, and positives and negatives of social media. Book today at sportsinkansas@gmail.com. In over 160 schools in Kansas. The Think Before You Post Power of Social Media Tour is powered by Mammoth Horse Construction, Nextech Wireless, Seatbelts Are For Everyone, in Watco.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety Campaign.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There's no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, and kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel, I'm your host, Sean Boston. Here in our second segment, we'll take a look at the rankings from Class 6A down through Class 8 Division 2. All right, Matt, let's start in Class 6A. Olathe West at number 5, Manhattan at number 4, Blue Valley at 3, Blue Valley Northwest at 2. The Panthers of Derby remain at number 1 in Class 6A.
Yeah, Derby with a statement win against Hutchinson, 55-6. The Panthers in half, kept things on the ground, and the Tigers playing very well, and they'll be at Bishop Miege this week. We'll talk about here in a little bit. And then Manhattan up at the spot to number 4. They handle Topeka Seaman.
I don't think we've seen a bigger holy war really since the time, obviously, we've been doing what we've been doing with Sports in Kansas or K-Preps, but for that matter, maybe since the 1990s, and I'd have to really dig in deep to it. But, of course, it's been Bishop Carroll since 1999 that has won it every single year. Number 1, Bishop Carroll, 4-1. They're only lost to Derby earlier on in the season versus number 2, Capon, who's unbeaten. Both teams had no problem last week. Carroll over Wichita North, and Capon, of course, over Wichita Southeast. Mario Elias has been outstanding this year. Of course, a big-time talent that he is. Of course, the Holthusen kid, nearly 500 yards receiving for Bishop Carroll. And then other teams to look at in this classification, I think there were a lot of people surprised last week. Lawrence Free State is much improved. They beat Mill Valley 41-20. Now you have Mill Valley versus Olathe West this week. So Olathe West, no slouch. That's a big-time game this week as well. So we'll see what happens in that one. May South, they continue to be undefeated. Evan Cantu has just been outstanding this week, or this year rather, 234 yards last week. And how about Spring Hill? Seems like Spring Hill is the real deal. Their schedule may not be as tough as some of the 5As, but they played a very good DeSoto team who's been very consistent recently. They won 28-14, and a nice job by Coach Feeback here in Class 5A.
Matt, down to Class 4A, Bueller at number 5, Baser Linwood at number 4, McPherson at 3, Andover Central at 2, and the Stags of Bishop Miege still at number 1 in Class 4A.
Yeah, no change in the 4A poll this week. You mentioned Miege in that top spot. They beat Blue Valley West 28-14 last week, and Mac Armstrong, their quarterback, a big game with over 340 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in that one, and they will host Blue Valley this week, the number 3 ranked team in Class 6A. So Miege, incredibly tough schedule, sitting there at 2-3, but just have played a lot of heavyweights. Andover Central is still at number 2. They're undefeated, beat Valley Center 51-10, and they'll get a test at Salina Central this week. Then we've got the big game in Class 4A this week is McPherson and Bueller. Number 3 against number 5. Obviously 2 teams in the ABCTL, and they've played a lot of close games. We'll talk about that later. But McPherson, they beat El Dorado 63-36 last week. Bueller beats Augusta 56-21. And then in between those two, you've got Baser Linwood sitting there at 5-0, rolling past Shawnee Heights 42-7. The Bobcats will be favorites this week against Kansas City, Washington.
Shut down to Class 3A, Frontenac number 5, Holton at 4, Cheney at 3, Wichita Collegiate 2, and Mighty Andale still at number 1 in Class 3A.
All eyes are on Andale, as they should be, all over Heston last week, 48-0, their 30th straight win. Dylan Schmidt, 53-2 as a head coach. Wichita Trinity this week. Of course, Andale we expect to go to 6-0. Wichita Collegiate, all over Wichita Trinity last week. They're against Clearwater this week. Cheney takes on Holcomb this week in a big-time district game. These are 2 of the top quarterbacks in the class, with Caden Johnson of Holcomb, of course, Harrison Voth out of Cheney's had an outstanding year so far. Cheney, of course, they've never had a 10-win season. They're really looking for that this year. They beat Pratt last week, who was a highlighted team that kind of came out of nowhere. Cheney is the real deal. Holton, they continued, of course, 5-0 on the season. They won 50-0. Frontenac beat Burlington as they celebrated 100 years of football last week.
Matt, down to Class 2A, Wellsville at number 5, Chaparral at number 4, Osage City 3, Silver Lake 2, And the Bulldogs of Rossville at number 1 in Class 2A.
Yeah, quite a bit of change this week in 2A. Obviously, you had St. Mary's upset Nemaha Central, who was ranked 2nd last week, and then Garden Plain goes down, who was down ranked number 5. And so a lot of change. Silver Lake and Rossville still at the top there. Rossville number 1, 62-0 win over Oskaloosa. They play Pleasant Ridge, a team that's been a pleasant surprise, actually, at 4-1 this year. But Silver Lake moves up a spot to number 2, replacing Nemaha Central. They'll have winless McLeod this week. Osage City up a spot to number 3. They beat Jayhawk Lynn 63-21, and that big game in Class 2A this week is Osage City against Wellsville, number 3 against number 5. Should be an outstanding matchup. The fans have chosen it as our statewide game of the week, and so I know those two communities are very excited. And then you mentioned the community of Chaparral's got to be excited down at Anthony and Hartburg because this team, 5-0, really unexpected. They beat Garden Plain 41-21. How about their quarterback, Wyatt Drohard, who hasn't played in 3 or 4 years, comes out and has had an outstanding year. He threw for over 360 yards last week and 6 touchdowns as they handled Garden Plain, and they'll be at Belle Plaine and be heavy favorites again this week.
Moving right along down to Class 1A, Centralia at 5, Sedgwick at 4, Smith Center at 3, Inman at 2, and the Eagles of Olpe still at number 1 in Class 1A.
The Olpe Eagles are king of Class 1A football, as I mentioned, each and every week. They've only allowed 12 points all season. They've had 4 shutouts. They take on Jackson Heights this week. That'll likely be their best opponent up to this point. Jackson Heights is 3-2 on the season. Of course, these two are familiar with each other in the past. Inman won 48-3 at Plainville. I believe that's the only 3 points they've allowed all season. They're against El Saline this week. Smith Center all over Oakley last week, 41-8. They're against Plainville in that rivalry matchup in the MCL this week. Sedgwick, of course, Ryan Stuckey has been outstanding moving over to the wide receiver position, but Lance Hofsommer, the real deal, nearly 450 yards last week. They're against Whitewater Remington, who's improved at 3-1 this year. Centralia beat Jeff County North last week, 20-6. They're against Horton this week.
All right, Matt, down to Class 8-man Division 1. Leota, Wichita County at number 5. Waukene Trigo at 4. Canton Galva at 3. Madison at 2. And unbeaten Little River, the Redskins at number 1 in 8-man 1.
Yeah, and remember, this is how the poll looked a few weeks ago. And then the votes kind of changed, and Canton Galva assumed the top spot, and Little River came down to number 3, and now they flip back, as obviously Little River beats Canton Galva last week 60-52 in a game that had everything. I mean, 1,100 yards of total offense, just 2 outstanding teams. Canton Galva with their explosiveness with Tyson Struber and Garrett Maltby back at quarterback, and Little River with the power of Braxton Lafferty in that offensive line. 2 teams that are certainly going to be heard from. And they remain at 1-3 this week. Madison in at number 2, and they get their test this week at Chase County, who's undefeated, and so that'll be a one to watch for. You mentioned Waukene Trigo at number 4. They handled Atwood Rollins County last week by 30, and they will be at Oberlin this week. And then Leota Wichita County in at number 5, a big win over Ness City. They have a huge showdown with unbeaten Meade, a team that we've been told all year to watch out for on the western half of the state. And Meade, out of southwest Kansas, has certainly shown up at 5-0. Another big one to watch that we'll talk about a little bit later is Yates Center and Sedan, 2 unbeaten teams that will square off this week. And so a lot to find out this week in 8-man Division 1.
Chet, our last classification, 8-man Division 2, Hanover at 5, Osborne at 4, Victoria at 3, Thunder Ridge at 2, and Axtell at number 1 in 8-man Division 2.
Axtell continues, of course, to impress here. All over Frankfort, 54-8. Frankfort was ranked 5th last week. Isaac Detweiler continues to have a huge career, just a junior there. Thunder Ridge all over Rock Hills, 54-0 last week. They're against Osborne this week, who's in the number 4 spot. Victoria all over Central Plains, 56-6. They're at Wilson. And Osborne last week, how about them, beating Hanover 36-26. Hanover at the 5th spot, but of course Hanover's losses are to a close loss to Osborne, then to Axtell as well. So Hanover's played some pretty good teams. It shows that they're human.
All right, thank you, guys. We'll step aside our final timeout, come back and take a look at some of the games to watch across the Sunflower State as we continue on this Week 6 edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Sean Boston back with you as we continue on week number 6 of the Kansas Kickoff Show, along with Matt Gilmore from KPreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, and KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. Here at our third and final segment of this week's show. Here in this third segment, we will take a look at some of the top games to watch across the state here on this Friday night. And Matt, we will start with you. A big one in Wichita. It is the annual Holy War game, as Capon will host Bishop Carroll in a battle of 1 versus 2 in Class 5A. This game has been moved from Stryker Sports Complex now to Cessna Stadium, the campus of Wichita State University, because they're expecting such a large crowd.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's obviously very significant every season, but, you feel like with both of those teams now number 1, number 2 in the state in Class 5A, Carroll number 1, Capon number 2, Carroll 4-1 and Capon 5-0. It's just really meaningful, certainly on the western side of Class 5A, certainly as the state goes and all those things. And so it's going to be an outstanding game. Cessna, hopefully the crowd is big, and it's just a great atmosphere on Friday night. So, these are two teams, again, that have played very well. Bishop Carroll's got that one blemish, but that comes to Derby. And you know what Derby does to everybody. They blow everybody out. Well, they beat Carroll 44-36 in a game that was, that Derby raced out to a big halftime lead, and Carroll came storming back. And, Chase Marsh was outstanding in that game, throwing the football. Matt Holthausen as well was, had a big game, instead of Tate Blasi. So, I mean, this is a team with Jaden Williams, and I know they've been beat up a little bit, but they've been playing really consistently all year. They'll need it again against Capon, because I've seen Capon play a couple times this year just on film, and man, they look good. They really handled Wichita Northwest when those two played and just dominated the second half. And the state's going to hear about Omari Elias. I mean, he's a 5'9", 195-pound back, and he looks like he's, instead of a sophomore in high school, he looks like he might be a sophomore in college, and he's just an outstanding-looking kid, runs very physical, very downhill, and he's tough to stop. And he's, over 850 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns this year. They've got the complement with sophomore quarterback Dylan Hamilton, who has completed, 75% of his passes for over 400 yards and 7 touchdowns, and then, he's got a great tight end and a receiving target, Will Ancio as well. So very balanced and can be very balanced. And this is going to be an outstanding game. Carroll has had the upper hand, obviously, since 99, won 24 straight. But this could be the year that Capon gets them. But it should be a great game on Friday night in a great atmosphere.
Connor, let's bring you in another big one in the Wichita area, as it is a Battle of Maize, another rivalry week game, as Maize High will host unbeaten Maize South.
This should be a fantastic contest. Maize has won the last 4 in this series. You've got 2 coaches, Coach Pfeiffer for Maize South, Coach Guzman at Maize, who've both been there for a long time and both have had a lot of great teams. Generally speaking, Maize has been more explosive offensively than South. Obviously, Maize has Johnson at quarterback, multiple Power 5 offers so far. Seagraves, a tremendous kicker. They've also got Kerr up front on the line, a lot of very explosive players. Maize, of course, did graduate Josh Sanders, who returned to kick in this game last year and just had an incredible year last season. South, Cantu in the backfield is very well known, well over 1,000 yards on the ground. But in speaking with Maize South earlier this season, their DBs is really a key thing. Forsyth has been a nice player. James has played a lot back there or too. I think this game comes down to, can Avery Johnson for Maize make enough big plays against Maize South's back 4? Parks for Maize South is a really good specialist as well, too. I give Maize South a slight edge in what should be a really close contest.
All right, Matt, a big one in the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League Division III, as Buhler welcomes in the unbeaten McPherson Bullpups.
Yeah, you're right. Big game in Division III in the AVCTL. Probably will decide that league title, but it's also going to go a long way for the western half of Class 4A, as these two teams, are in the top 3 right now in the standings. And it's going to be an outstanding game. McPherson's unbeaten, but it hasn't been easy. They've had to struggle. They've had a 10-point win over Salina South. They kind of struggled at Great Bend. and then had to survive in Winfield in overtime, 21-14. So the Bullpups, they obviously lost a lot last year, but good, talented roster back and have got by so far. They blew out El Dorado last week, and so hopefully they're moving in the right direction. But they've been very balanced on offense. 186 yards passing a game, 185 yards rushing. Jayden Gum has done primarily the damage on the ground, as he's nearing 600 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. And remember, as a sophomore last year, he had a breakout year in rushing for over 1,300 yards. And their new quarterback, Hunter Alvard, has completed 70% of his passes. He's over 800 yards and 6 touchdowns, and obviously got a really nice receiving target in Trey Buckby, who actually just picked up an offer from Drake a couple of days ago. So McPherson can be explosive on offense. When you look at Buhler, I mean, they're about a minute away from being unbeaten. Andover Central beat them on a long pass with just about a minute to go to win that one 21-19 back in week 2. When you think of Buhler, you think of a physical veteran team, physical run game. Sam Elliott, who nearly ran for 2,000 yards last season, he's off to a great start again this year with nearing 850 yards and 9 touchdowns. But what really does it for me with Buhler this year is Bradley Neal and their ability to throw the ball. Over 600 yards passing, 7 touchdowns. Matthew Eddy's an explosive player for them as well. They've got good balance, and don't be surprised if Buhler can get this win and end a 6-game win streak by McPherson in the series.
All right, Connor, a big one in 8-man Division I as unbeaten Sedan welcomes in unbeaten Yates Center.
Yates Center so far is one of the top stories of 2021. Yates Center off to their best start in more than half a century. I talked with Coach Panko at length last week, and he's put in this high-flying, very, very quick-tempoed look. He put it in last season. They averaged about 37 points a game over their final 8 games of last year, and frankly, they've been even better this year. Sean Hurst, the 6'4" senior quarterback, has been a tremendous player. Yates Center returned every single starter, so Hurst has got a lot of really quality guys. Yates Center, though, has really only had 13 healthy players most of this season. Sedan has about 12 or 13 seniors alone, and they've got, of course, Breck Long, the Caney Valley quarterback transfer, who has really matched Hurst in just total offense so far. You've got Hatton, the tremendous wideout, 6'3 plus. Both teams have got a lot of really quality players, skill players. Overall, though, I think that Sedan's depth, and as good as Hurst is, Long might be a touch better, but I think that Sedan just has a little bit too much. I think this could be a game where over 100 combined points are scored, but I give Sedan, who's more used to playing in big games, a slight edge here.
All right, Connor, and another big one in 8-man. This one, 8-man Division II, as unbeaten Thunder Ridge hosts 4-1 Osborne.
These were two teams that K-Preps for us, we had projected them in late summer to be much improved. These two teams were combined 9-9 last season, and they certainly have been. Thunder Ridge has been outstanding, extremely explosive. Bice, the returning quarterback, talking with Coach Struckoff in this summer, he said, Bice is that prototypical, tall, long-armed, explosive-armed quarterback. Obviously, Osborne, under Coach Tiernan, has had a long history of great seasons. They really returned everybody, too. Of course, their big guy is Mason Scherr, who has turned out 4 excellent years. This game, the last 2 years, has been incredibly close. Doak Guttery for Osborne has been in a nice quarterback, but I feel like if Bice plays like he has been all year, Thunder Ridge should just have more offensive firepower and should get the win here.
All right, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Special thanks to Matt Gilmore from KPreps.com, as well as Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, and KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel, as well as all of our great sponsors, American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, the Safe Project, and think before you post. Until next week, this is Sean Boston saying so long, and thanks for listening. Enjoy Week 6 of the high school football season right here in the state of Kansas.
You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Hi, this is Nick Gosnell. Join me Friday nights after Hutch High football for the Friday Night Scoreboard Show. I'll recap scores from around the state of Kansas. The Friday Night Scoreboard Show brought to you by Next Tech Wireless and APAC Shears Division on BW Radio.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Coach Dan Nacarado. So we're going to give you all the ins and outs of tonight's matchup, which is Salina South. The Cougars come into Gallon Stadium and take on the Salt Hawks. And Dan, this has all the possibilities of being a great game tonight. It is a great time on the field as well.
You know what kind of day it is?
It is.
It's a great day for football.
That it is. I was trying to lead up to that because it is a great evening or day for football. You betcha. So Salina South, they come in kind of limping it a little bit. Salt Hawks same way, getting handled by Derby last week, 55-6. And let's start it off by talking about that Derby game last week. Just flat out, Derby just excelled in every category and took it to the Salt Hawks 55-6. This is one you and I talked about. You just turn the page on. You just move on, get the bad taste out of your mouth if you possibly can. Our kids played hard. They just didn't match up against Derby.
Derby's doing that to pretty much everybody. And if you look back the previous Friday, they throttled Salina South 77-7. So, I mean, it's just that's Derby these last few years. They have just been overpowering their opponents, and you have to give them credit. You have to look at every opportunity to compete against them as a wonderful chance to use them as a yardstick right now, the same way other teams used Hutchinson as a yardstick during that run of state championships for the Salt Hawks.
What kind of numbers did they put up on us the other night, Dan?
Well, they did put up a lot of offense. Now, keep in mind, the clock ran the entire second half, so the second half, nobody had very many opportunities to run plays.
That went quick.
But Derby did put up 459 yards of total offense on 48 snaps. You look at Dylan Edwards, their outstanding running back, who's only a junior, by the way. He gained 171 yards on the ground. Mercer Thatcher, the quarterback, picked up 87 yards rushing and then threw for another 92 yards. You've got two other guys that came in at quarterback before the game was over, Derek Hubbard and Brock Zerger. Both of them could be starting for just about any high school in the state of Kansas. So it's not only those starters for Derby, their backups are impressive as well.
They probably got 90% of those yards in the first 2.5 quarters, more than likely. Interesting with the Edwards kid, again, his dad, Leon Edwards, a good running back for K-State in years past. I looked up the years and I realized the very first bowl game that K-State went to in the Bill Snyder era was the Copper Bowl. I was at the Copper Bowl, so I saw Leon Edwards run in that ball game and play for K-State. I didn't realize, put two and two together until I was doing a little research after the game, because he did look impressive the other night, and is going to be a D1 prospect depending on his grades when he gets out and et cetera. But he is quite the talent.
Yeah, he plays at a high level. He's got that speed. He's got that elusiveness. He's
the real deal.
One of the best in the state.
Exactly. He is the real deal. So their quarterbacks, as you indicated, did a good job. Their defense was stellar as well, really stacked up. Hutchinson didn't allow Hutchinson to get anything going until late in the ball game. The next to the last score was a Hogan run for a touchdown, which was a good one. So it just wasn't Hutch's night. Now what's important to do is focus on the future, and the future's here right now tonight with senior night tonight.
Already senior night. My gosh, this season is moving right along. We're past the halfway mark now with 5 games already complete. It's it's going to be playoff time before we know it.
Yeah, plus this is the last regular season game tonight for the Salt Hawks. Now, they could earn a home field first round, which would be October 29th. But for all intent purposes, this is possibly the last time that the Salt Hawks might be home tonight, this season.
Certainly the last home game that's promised to Hutchinson. We think it's highly likely Hutchinson will earn themselves a home game in Week 9, which is kind of the first week of the playoffs. But you're not promised that opportunity, so you definitely want to come out tonight and take advantage of the opportunity to see Hutchinson play Salina South.
Yeah, and 5A in the West, Hutchinson currently tied at the number 10 spot, which would put them on the road, but that's based off their 2-3 record. And you can turn around also and you got Guyton Eisenhower right behind him at 2-3. You have Liberal at 2-3 as well. So there's other teams back there. Valley Center also at 2-3.
And again, just to clarify, when you say the 10 spot, they take half the teams in 5A and they're on the east, half the teams are in the west. So that's the 10 spot in the west.
Yeah, in the west side. So not overall rankings, of course, but that's how they would do it. So they break out those two into basically a tournament type of setting, so where east is kind of meeting west in the last one. So we'll just see what's going to happen. Now, we think it's very possible for Hutch to roll off 3 straight wins.
They could. When you look at Salina South, they come into tonight's game with just 1 win. Next week, you look at Campus. Campus has no wins. They're 0-5. And so certainly you hope that Hutchinson will make good on being the favorite in those 2 contests. And then Mays is kind of a toss-up. Mays is 4-1 right now, but they've got a tough game tonight on their schedule against Mays South. So, yeah, I think it's very doable. That
Hutchinson... It is very, very possible. Now, we travel both to Campus and we travel to Mays, and both those games will be interesting. We feel like we could beat Campus. Mays could be a toss-up. We'll see. We got it done last year.
It was a good game.
That was a great game, and we'll see what's going to happen. We're going to take a break, come back and talk more about tonight's matchup, and get set to put some things together for the keys to the game later on in the segment. Again, it's Salina South, the Cougars, coming in to visit the Salt Hawks tonight. It's senior night here at Gowan Stadium. We'll be back right after this.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail, and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
Hutchinson High School sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Well, welcome back to the Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado and Matt Peterson getting set to get the filming done tonight here at the home game. The senior night, always special on senior night. I can't remember if I had, of course I played so long ago, it was a long time ago, whether or not we had senior night or not, but this is a big deal for moms and dads out there and also these seniors. How many seniors do we have anyway?
18 seniors on Hutchinson Salt Hawk football this season.
And proud to go out in style with a win tonight, we hope.
That's right. Football is a little bit different than other sports because you played basketball in high school, Glenn, and you can continue to play basketball, whether it's in a
football
city league.
It stops. Yeah.
That's right. Football, once you're out of high school, for most players, probably somewhere around, I would say, 90 to 95% of seniors in high school, that last high school football game that they put the pads on, that's the last time they'll ever wear football pads in their lives. So it makes senior night especially emotional when you're at your last home game that, as we said, they might get another home game or 2 or 3 in the playoffs, but this is the last one on the schedule.
Yeah, last one on the schedule is tonight, and it's senior night here, so those guys certainly want to go out with a win. They also want to play more games on Gowans Field, and if they're going to do that, they need to get a win tonight.
That's right. That's right. Their destiny's in their own hands.
Let's talk about this South team. Again, there's a fullback. We're not sure we're going to see him or not. That has been tearing it up for them. We've seen him for several years now. Is that the Cox kid? I think?
It is.
Yeah.
Brant Cox is, in football it's hard to say who the best player on a team is because every position is different. But I think it's a safe statement to make that Brant Cox is the player you noticed the most the last couple of years when Salina South played football. Unfortunately, he sustained an injury. It was either the first game of the season or the second game of the season, and he has not been able to play. He has not been suiting up for games. So tonight, he's a pretty big question mark. I would be surprised if he's going to play tonight.
Talk about some other strengths that they have. Pretty good quarterback, this quarterback for a few years now.
They do. Weston Freeze, number 2, is a 6'1", 167-pound quarterback. He's a junior this year, but he was pretty good last year as a sophomore. And they have a very impressive nosed guard on defense named Kason Dietz. He's a big, strong player, and he will probably draw double teams from Hutchinson tonight. He wears number 30. He's 6 feet tall, 292 pounds.
That's good size for a high school lad, so we'll see if the offensive line can handle him or not.
It will be a challenge. That if they can block Dietz and keep him from bottling things up in the middle, then Hutchinson has a pretty good chance to run the ball and pick up yards.
Again, common opponents that we talk about was primarily that Derby game that they lost, like you said, 77-7. So if you're scoreboard watching and you look at that, you look at our loss to Derby, that makes this be, in my opinion, a pretty close game.
They also got beat pretty decisively at Maize South in Week 2, 51-14. When you look at this Salina South team, they're a program that had so much success back in the 90s and the 80s and even the 2000s. They won a state championship. They came close to winning another state championship in 2013 when they were runner-up to Blue Valley Stillwell, 27-26 in a very close game. But prior to that, they won state championships under Ken Stonebreaker in 2000, 2004. There is a connection. We feel a kinship at Hutchinson with the coaching staff at Salina South because Scott Yantis and Randy Dreiling came to Hutchinson from Salina South. And so it's always been a program that we've stayed in close contact and have a lot of friendships. The athletic director over there, Ken Stonebreaker, was the head coach for many years. And they're good people. Under Sam Sellers, the challenge they faced the last few years, their numbers have been down. There just aren't as many young men going out for football.
Yeah, and that's a rarity. Was it last year they didn't have a freshman team?
It was either last year or the year before, and their numbers are down again this year.
Yeah, down again this year. Again, they're 1-4, and with the game tonight, then they still have Newton left on their schedule. They also have Salina Central on their schedule before they get set for playoff action. So in district-wise, they're setting actually with that only one win they have is over campus.
It's a Salina South defense that for the last 2 years they've been giving up an average of 45 points a game, and when you're giving up 45 points a game, it's hard to pick up wins.
And that's just as simple as that, and that makes it pretty simple, and that's going to take us to our next segment. We're going to wrap things up with this segment as we get set for coming up in just a little bit. Our keys. That wasn't a very good ring right there. I can get a better one going. Keys to the game. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. delivered with speed. The lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle. At 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
It's time for the Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show, Keys to the Game, brought to you by the Key Man. That would be Dan Nacarado. And, Coach, just jumping out, let's go first of all with Salina South. What do they have to do defensively to stop the Salt Hawks, which we're going to see some changes in the Salt Hawks offense?
We talked about the nose guard who will play straight across from the center, Kason Dietz, the 292-pounder. He's probably going to draw a double team every play. So there's going to have to be some other players on that Salina South defense that step up and fill holes and make tackles. It could be a tall order, though, for Salina South because the Hutchinson offense is geared when you double team one player. There's somebody else you don't have to block at all. You can just read them and decide whether to hand the ball to the fullback or the quarterback, keep it or pitch it. So when you're facing an option team, you got to have a few other guys step up and make plays.
And they're going to see if they're going to be able to do that or not. So that's one key. What about the Hutchinson defense stopping that offense of Salina South?
Well, that's a great question because the main key I would have told you is they have to tackle Brant Cox, but it probably won't happen tonight because we think Brant Cox won't be playing due to an injury. So I'd like to see that Salt Hawk defense put some pressure on Weston Freeze and put him into some uncomfortable situations and maybe get some tackles for losses.
So it could be some blitzing going on tonight, possibly.
I'd like to see that happen.
And blitz is make it interesting on that defensive front when you can do that. If you have speed on the edges that can come in and do something, that's usually a pretty good thing.
That's right.
And I think Hutchinson has that speed on the edges. Now, a couple players for Hutchinson also being questionable. And let's talk about them really quickly. Is we're out a key one in Ragoza. We're without him tonight.
That's right. Noah Ragoza, the Hawk linebacker, was not available to play last week against Derby. He will be out again tonight with an ankle injury, and we hope that he recovers fast. And then the other key component of that Hutchinson defense, the free safety Kinzer Newquist, we hope he plays, but he's questionable. He's been fighting injuries the last few weeks, and we'll see if he's able to go or not tonight.
He was able to go 100% last week. Now, he wasn't 100%, but he played the entire ball game. So if I'm a betting man, I see number 14 out there.
Well, let's hope that that's the case.
Let's talk about some changes at the QB spot.
We've been saying all season in the pregames that Nick Lang would likely get some snaps at quarterback, and tonight that's we're going to say it again, but we're a little bit more confident watching the teams warm up and listening to what Coach Vernon had to say at lunch on Wednesday. We're a little bit more confident that we're going to see Nick Lang. He's 6'6", so he's an easy guy to spot. And I think what Hutchinson is looking to do is give opportunities, which is one of our keys, give more opportunities for Noah Kokar to either catch the ball or run with the ball, as well as get the ball to Zach Hogan a few more times. And I think that they're more likely able to do that if you put Nick Lang at quarterback.
And I think, yes, so it's kind of like a plus with a minus. That's a weird way of putting it. But with Nick Lang moving in at quarterback from that wide receiver spot, you put Noah in a better opportunity to do two of those three things. When he's a quarterback, he primarily can run the ball. He can also pass the ball, but you take the ability for him to catch the ball and make moves in yards after the catch. And I think that's the plus you put into this. So it's not that Noah's doing bad at quarterback. He's doing outstanding, and he's really growing up in that position. We just think that he's going to be a bigger main key to the nice ball game if he's at one of those slots.
Well, what we've seen through 5 games so far this season, opposing defenses, when Noah's at quarterback, they can scheme their defense to make sure Noah doesn't get to keep the football. They can assign somebody to the quarterback that makes him either hand the ball off or pitch it. When you move Noah around in the backfield, now he could either take a handoff, he could catch a pitch, or he could catch a pass. It makes it a little harder to scheme to take that weapon away.
It really does. I remember some of the highlights from last year when I put them together for the banquet that they had in the spring this year. I remember some of the Kokar pitches on the outside, that rocket toss on the outside that we became so famous and familiar with. I just see him streaking down the field and getting things done. So hopefully we have some of those highlights to call tonight with Noah at a different position.
I'm going to make a prediction that the Hutchinson offense will have some big plays tonight. When you look back at the last few times these teams have played, the Hutchinson offense has scored over 40 points the last 5 times that these two teams have faced each other, and I expect to see that happen again tonight.
I want to rain praise on the crowd. The crowd continues to turn out for this team. Of course, last week was homecoming, so that's kind of expected. You have some kids home from school and coming and that's what homecoming is all about, is to come back home to celebrate your alma mater. But we've had
medium and listen as you watch the game.
Which reminds me, go to your app store, whether it's Android, go to the Google Play Store, or if you're Apple, go to the Apple store and just either download KWBW, and you'll get the app for KWBW, and as soon as you click that, it'll open up and play KWBW. It's just a few seconds behind our broadcast. Or even better, go to Hutch Post and pull up the Hutch Post app, and that'll give you all the option to listen to Salt Hawk Radio, or to also watch it on the stream if you wish to. So many times anymore, you don't see many transistors in the stadium. You see a few of the over-the-ear market ones that you see, but as a whole, you can go do the same thing with your app right there. Play it and have it available for folks that are sitting around you.
That's right. Put those earbuds in that are connected to your phone and use that KWBW app.
All right. Well, we're going to get Matt all squared away over here with the video photography, as he's a freshman here at Hutch High. He's ready to get back in the saddle after Sister Sarah filled in for him last week, and we're going to get set for some Salt Hawk football coming your way in just a little bit. Thank you, Knack.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be back, and that was the keys to the game. We'll get set for talk a little bit more about the ball game tonight and get set for the kickoff just around the corner. We'll be back right after this.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. The Salt Hawks are brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, Nextech Wireless, APAC Shears, and the Medicine Shop. Also thanks to these Salt Hawk boosters, Hayden & Company, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, and American Family Insurance agent Travis Rodenbach. Now your host for Salt Hawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
Welcome to Gowan Stadium. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, and we're having the introduction of seniors from some of the other sports that are taking place, such as band and some of all those activities. But it's going to be a good night for football.
It's a great night for football. Glad to be here. The weather is warm for the first or second Friday in October. It's warmer than usual, but it's comfortable, and there's not much of a breeze. We should have a true test of football skill tonight at Gowan Stadium.
You're exactly right. About 7 degrees warmer than usual. 82 degrees right now, game time temperature. Might drop another degree as the sun starts to set behind us to the west, and just a little bit, right around 2 miles per hour out of the southeast is your indication is correct, because that flag is barely moving in the breeze down there. And they've already had the introduction of the football players that were seniors, which we have 18. We talked about that earlier. And now they're doing, like I said, some of the other sports and activities, including band. So I was corrected a little while ago.
It's a beautiful view from the press box here at Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson, and I want to give a very, very high praise shout-out to Don Rose, Stoney Wilson, all of the people that maintain the grounds at Hutchinson Community College, because the campus looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job, and I noticed that when I'm coming in, and anytime they're both doing these games as well as Hutch Community College, so good to see what all they do. Real quick, just need to take just a quick moment to honor and a little bit of silence for Hadley Lane Nelson, who was a young lady, a cheerleader and athlete over at Nickerson that cancer took her life earlier in the week, and just hats off to and thoughts for that family of Hadley Lane Nelson. And just wanted to get that moved out of the way. She was a wonderful young lady, and she will be sorely missed by her family and her classmates, and a lot of sorrow going over there at Nickerson taking place with that. Here, you got moms that are pretty sad because, and I've seen a lot of postings on social media as it goes along because of the senior football, possibly the last home game. Now, some things have to happen for Hutchinson to have that home game on the 29th, and one of those things is to win tonight and to get a win the next two Friday nights.
Definitely want to be above 500. Again, you play 8 games, and then you seed the postseason, and if you finish in the top half of the West, you get to play Week 9 at home. But you made a great observation there, Glenn, that the emotions for tonight, senior night, since it's Week 6 and the players know that there will be some more games, they don't get quite as emotional as the parents do usually on senior night.
Those senior moms and dads, sometimes some of them are playing with heavy hearts because this is the last time they see their kid play. And you made a great observation in the pregame about football is one of those sports that you're just kind of done if you don't go on to play college football. I mean, you can maybe play some intramural flag football, things like that, Dan, but like you said, it's not a sport that will carry you unless you're doggone good past the age of 18.
No, probably 90% of the seniors, they are finished putting the helmets on and the shoulder pads on and the thigh pads and all of that kind of thing, and it's probably no more football. But basketball and golf and tennis and swimming and a lot of other sports you can continue to play and pick up games, and it's a little different situation.
Yeah, swimming is one especially that can stay as a fitness sport and to carry you farther beyond just as a recreation type of thing. Same way with golf to some extent, but soccer and football and even basketball, you can still play a little intramural basketball and kind of
cross-country and
recreation
track,
basketball and everything.
Run.
Yeah, you can sure do that. But football is one sport, along with possibly soccer, that you're kind of finished when you're finished. So that is just what takes place. So we're going to take a 2-minute timeout and get set for the captains to come out on the field, and it's going to be Salina South versus Hutchinson. And glad to have you along this evening, no matter how you hook up with us, either by way of the radio dial or also by way of the stream. And if you're wondering about the stream, go to hutchpost.com. It's as simple as that. And also you can go to the Facebook page, Hutch Salt Hawk Sports Network on Facebook is where that's at. Or you can go to YouTube, just cut out all those shortcuts and go to YouTube and look up Hutch Post, and you'll be sure to find it. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with more right after this.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need.
Make this a 2-minute timeout.
The lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle. At 14th and Main at the Little White Castle, you'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Your choices at Prairie Star Health Center just keep getting better. Dr. Cecilia Hinton has joined our exceptional staff and invites you to rely on her as your primary care provider for your health and wellness concerns. And she'll be right there with you to address any chronic diseases, aggravating pain, or other issues. Dr. Hinton knows it's all about you at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Hutchinson High School sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Let's get those taxes done. At H&R Block, we can file your return by October 15th, no matter where you filed your extension. Avoid a late filing penalty and get every credit and deduction you're entitled to. Drop in and stay, or drop off and go. Or call 662-5321 to make an appointment today at H&R Block, Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Well, the captain's meeting out at the center H on the field here at Gowan Stadium. And I think that possibly Hutchinson has won the toss, and they deferred to the second half. And that is exactly what's going to take place there, Dan, as Hutchinson wins the toss and will kick off. So, and again, like we talked about, Brent Cox is out there, but only as a captain. He is in shorts tonight, no helmet, so he will not play in this matchup. And he is a fine young athlete that the Cougars are going to have to do without tonight.
Brent Cox, the 6'2", 203-pound senior, has definitely been the player that catches your eye when you watch Salina South Cougar football the last couple of years.
Some names are going to pop out for you on defense, and Dan and I'll both be calling them out. As number 19, Nolan Cunningham, has been playing great this year. Braden Rodriguez, he is a junior. Number 58, you'll hear us calling his name. Aaron Jefferson as well. Number 57's had an outstanding season so far. Griffith Cook, as well as Landon Dixon on that outside Will linebacker. And then you got Ragoza's banged up right now, but you got some other ones like Ben Patterson and Dylan Garrett that are going to step in. And Hackney's been outstanding at one of that cover 2 high safety. He's wearing number 38 back again tonight. He honored his father who passed away last week by wearing number 33. And, of course, Kinzer Newquist, what can you say about him? Stephon Hunter as well, and Titan Henahall, all outstanding safeties and corners back there.
That defense coached by Scott Yanis, who picked up his 200th win as the defensive coordinator at Hutchinson High School last October in a game against Newton. That's hard to do, to pick up 200 wins.
No kidding. And, of course, he's always with emotion when he plays Salina South because, like you said, he and Randy Dreiling both coached there. Here's the end-over-end kick, and it's going to be taken at the 18. And they'll turn it to the right side, and that's going to be McDaniel on the return. And tries to turn the corner, nothing there as he gets out to the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for South. They'll set up. We'll see Weston Freeze at quarterback. He'll wear number 2 when he comes out there. Saw him throwing the ball around in practice, and again, the Hutch defense comes out on the field. So 1st and 10 now for Salina South. They'll defend the goal to the south, and Hutchinson will defend the goal to the north. Right to left, South will run the football, and they'll get set to get over center and get things going here. So it's going to be Jorge Franco sets up in that center position. Down in now the shotgun is going to be Freeze, and he wants to throw the football, has a receiver on the outside and overthrows him. Intended receiver out there was Webb, Lakin Webb. Got a hand on the football, but nice coverage out there by the linebacker crew for Hutchinson.
If you like a little bit of history, game number 1,100 in the history of Hutchinson High School football is now underway.
And history also game number 20 between these two teams, with Hutchinson has the edge. They give running back straight ahead running and nothing there. Maybe got out to about the 27-yard line. Might have picked up a couple. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. We'll give him 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And still down is Andelon.
Oh, now that's huge if he is injured, because remember, Ian Andelon, the sophomore, he is filling in for Brent Cox.
I just think his shoe came off.
Must have just been an equipment issue.
So just an equipment issue. He's up and ready, and he'll be back there in the backfield with Weston Freeze. Freeze is a junior, 6'1", 167, plays both quarterback and defensive back. He's in that shotgun formation, gets the snap back, wants to throw, and off the hands of the intended receiver. I'm not sure McDonald saw it coming because it went right off his hands and incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
He was open, and it was a well-thrown ball. He just hadn't turned to look for the ball when it arrived.
And when he did turn, off his hands it went. He didn't even look to me like he made an effort to go for the catch. So it's punt time now for South.
Get the feeling he was not expecting to be the target of that pass.
4th down and 7. And Hutchinson will send a back, which will be Newquist, right at about the 35-yard line. Kinzer will set up back there and get set to receive the ball. Here's the punt, high punt that Kinzer's going to watch bounce, and it just about hits a South player, then takes a sideways bounce to the 33, and Hutch will have the football to start the first possession of the game for the Salt Hawks at the 33.
Well, that's about a 40-yard net punt. That's pretty good for high school football.
I'm going to say hello to Larry Phillips. He's a resident of Hutchinson, used to be a principal down at Haven, and played for Hank Iba at one time in basketball.
And
he listens all the time, you bet. He listens intently.
And we do have Nick Lang under center.
Yeah, Lang's the quarterback. Giveaway, looked like it's hipping on the carry up to about the 36-yard line.
Hutchinson in their all black pants and jerseys with the numbers that are just outlined in gold, and it's a little bit hard to see the
Actually,
numbers.
It was Hogan on the carry. So pickup of 3 yards, second down and 7. So Hogan wears number 30, Hippen wears number 40, and I like these uniforms, but when they get a little farther over on the far side of the field, which, by the way, they'll split out a wideout, that'll be O'Sullivan on the left side. And Nick Lang, the quarterback, will bring him up. Second down and 7. Quarterback, first start for Lang. He's been a wide receiver. He's going to keep it himself. He's got some room across the 40. Stretches forward. Might have the first down depending on the spot. They're going to mark it right at the 43-yard line. And it's going to be short by a yard, Dan.
Still a very manageable third and short situation. Nick Lang looks good under center in his first couple snaps.
He's a big kid, 6'6", 195, so he can see over the line of scrimmage a little bit better than Hutchinson's other quarterback, which is Noah Kokar.
Noah Kokar still playing, just in a different position.
Just in a different position to turn and give away, straight ahead running. This Hogan bangs in, gets up and gets the first down up to about the 45-yard line. So Hogan bangs inside.
Our secret will be Hippen wears those sky blue shoes and Hogan wears the black shoes.
And Hogan on the first game of the season had 101 yards and was solid. He got the lone touchdown last week against Derby. So Hogan back in that fullback spot. Lang under center. Gets set. Wants to throw the football. Airs it out on the right side. Incomplete pass. Intended for Miller on that right side, and he goes down to 38. Did not catch the football, so that'll bring up a second down and 10.
That's a timing pass where Nick Lang is throwing it to a spot, and you hope that your receiver arrives at that spot at the same time the ball gets there.
Lang has had a hard time in his career with concussions. Took him out of much of last year. Kokar is going to set up in that left slot.
Lang's also a starter on Salt Hawk basketball.
You bet. There's a man in motion. Good pitch on the outside. They stopped the play. That was the rocket pitch to Kokar around that right side, and a flag on the far side. Could have been an illegal procedure. False start is what it is.
You are correct. That'll back him up.
I went old school on you with the illegal procedure. False start
I think
is what it is.
that still works.
It'll bring up a second down and 15 now for Hutchinson. Ball's right at the 40-yard line for Hutch. So they've got to get to the 45 of Salina South.
If you missed the pregame, Nick Lang is playing quarterback so that Noah Kokar can be moved around to various positions in the backfield and at receiver. More opportunities for Kokar to run with it.
Back to pass, Lang. Gets it out to Kokar. He catches it at the 50, spins around, gets across the 45 for the first down. And that's what we're talking about. With Kokar at quarterback, he can throw the ball and he can run the ball, but there's an occasion where he's able to go out in the flat and catch the ball and then use his skills after the catch to put a first down on the board.
Absolutely correct, Noah Kokar. By moving him around, you can hand the ball to him, you can pitch the ball to him, you can throw the ball to him, and hopefully defenses can't just scheme to take that weapon away.
Nice job by Lang to connect in that, like I said, just at the flat. He caught it at about the 48 and spun around and got extra yardage. First and 10, Hutch on the 45 of Salina South. Carry up the middle. And that was Ben Patterson in there carrying it. We said we'd see a little Ben Patterson
all
at
season
the fullback
long.
spot.
I think almost every pregame we mentioned we might see Ben Patterson carry the ball a little bit. So
Picks up 4, so 2nd down and 6.
Came true tonight.
Ben kind of runs straight up. That's something that if he is going to carry the ball much, he's going to have to change a little bit. But 2nd down and 6 now the call for Lang and company, and they'll split wideouts on that left side. O'Sullivan goes out wide left.
Don't want to play Ben too much at fullback because he anchors the defense at his linebacker position.
Man in motion to pitch again. Rocket pitch around the outside and trying to turn the corner on the outside is going to be Kokar, and he gets across the 35 down to about the 34-yard line. Nifty carry by the junior, and 7:28 to go in his first order of play. Hutchinson moving the football with their first possession.
Good job by the Salt Hawk coaching staff to make adjustments week to week and find ways for that offense to get more of an opportunity to move the football.
Noah Kokar very patient as he waited for his blockers to form on that outside. He picked up the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 now from the 33 of Salina South. Lang under center, wants to throw the ball, has pressure, but gets it away, and it's going to be picked off. It's picked off at about the 25-yard line, and coming up with the pick out there is going to be Budke, Caden Budke. And Nick Lang threw his first interception right to Budke. 1st and 10 now for the South Cougars. So we talked about turnovers, Dan. It's something that you can't have happen. They're going to mark it right at the 34-yard line.
Caden Budke, the 5'11", 203-pound linebacker, did a nice job dropping into coverage. He read pass immediately and got some depth. And I don't think Nick Lang was expecting to see a linebacker that far downfield.
I don't believe he was either. Buter with an early lead now over McPherson, 7-0. Buter's favored by many people in that ball game against unbeaten McPherson. Here it's 0-0, and Salina South with their second possession of the game after the interception with 6:51 to go in this first quarter. They take it around the right side, get a couple yards on the carry, and we'll make it a 2nd down and 8. Ball's right at the 36-yard line. So again, Freeze the quarterback. He's back in the shotgun. He sends trips out on the left side, a single wide out on the right. He's going to keep it himself around the outside. Now there's the pitch. It's a fumble. Hutchins has the football, comes up with it at about the 34-yard line. Nice job by Newquist to get on the ball, and he comes up with the fumble. And Hutch is back in shape again, this time inside of Cougar territory.
Hutchinson gave a little bit of a gift there to Salina South, and then the Cougars reciprocated with the fumble. So Hutchinson really in about the same spot they were before the interception.
Freeze tried to run the option, and when he pitched it, it went off the chest of the running back, and Hutchinson was there to jump on it. 1st and 10 from the Salina South 34-yard line. Still with Hogan in the backfield. Nick Lang, the quarterback, man in motion to give to straight ahead running to Hogan. He bounces forward all the way down close to the 30. They'll mark it shorter than that, though, however. It's going to be about the 32-yard line. Pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8.
Pretty much the whole playbook at the disposal of Coach Mike Vernon.
2nd down and 8 for the Salthawks. 6:01 remaining to go in this first quarter play. No scores of yet. Hutchinson with their second possession driving after the turnover. Both teams have a turnover each. One, the interception for Salina South, and the other with a fumble recovery for the Salthawks. The man in motion to give straight ahead running. This time it's going to be Hogan. He's going to break loose. He's at the 15 and finally corralled and dropped at about the 12-yard line. Nice run by Hogan. A little burst of speed to get away from the ensuing tacklers. They'll mark his knee at the 19. So inside the red zone now for the first time tonight.
Pretty well blocked by Sammy Christians, Mason Sykes, Cooper Doobie, Chase Kepler, and Daley Van Sickle.
You got the Doobie man up front there. He can get it done. He does a great job at center. And, of course, Kepler.
Then Hogan just ran right through when some of the Cougars attempted to arm tackle him.
Yeah,
that's not going to work against Hogan.
Through that first line of defense, and then he was able to quickly get the feet to moving and carried it all the way to the down to about the 15-yard line. On the outer perimeter, there's going to be on the run quickly is going to be Kokar, and he carries it all the way down inside the red zone down to about the 4-yard line. Nice run by Noah Kokar.
In this first quarter of action, the Hutchinson offense has been able to beat Salina South to the edge. They're having success with the outside plays.
First and goal from the 4 now for the Salthawks of Hutchinson. Salthawks get set. Again, Hogan still at that fullback spot as he has been since the start of the ball game. Lang down under center. The give to Hogan. He bounces forward, and then he's thrown backwards, but I think his forward progress might have got him about a half a yard. So second down and goal.
Shea Leffert, the defensive tackle, 6'3", 291 pounds. He's a hard guy to run through. Again, Hutchinson will double team Kaysen Dietz at the nose guard position, another 292-pound defensive lineman for Salina South. So they'll try to double team him almost every play.
Malachi Miller's going to split wide to the left side. Up on tight end now is going to be O'Sullivan. Kokar's at that right slot. He goes in motion, gives straight ahead running. That's Hogan. He's hit, and then he spins away on top of the body of a Salina South player down to about the 2. The third down and goal now from the 2-yard line for Hutchinson.
If Hutchinson wants to run it, rocket toss was open on that particular play to Kokar. Let's see if they go to that on third down.
Ball's on the 2. It's marked right in the center of the field, so you can go rocket toss either direction here. I also like to get as much of an angle at the pylon as you can get with an offensive mind at least. Let's see if they do go rocket toss or not. They give straight ahead running. It's given to Hogan again. He bounces close to the goal line. He's down to about the 1-foot line. It's going to be a fourth down and goal. So you went with who got you down there, and you took it down to about. It's close to the goal line. Let's see what they're going to do. It's fourth and goal.
We can pretty well say all last season this would have been a quarterback sneak by Miles Thompson. Let's see if they choose to do that with Nick Lang.
Kokar's going to come back in there now as he was coming out.
They might let Noah Kokar go to quarterback and run it. I think they are.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Probably going to be a quarterback keeper.
So Kokar will go under center. Let's see if Doobie can get a surge for him here. He goes across, and it's really close. Is there an indication yet?
I think he got it, but I
think so too, but they're not
yet.
giving the indication yet. And South held.
Oh, wow.
South held. It's right at the 1-foot line. Kokar did not get it in. Now, he did not go airborne. He just tried to push behind Doobie.
He didn't miss by much.
No, he didn't. It's right at the goal line. So it's South will take over on downs right at their own 1-foot line. So South with officially 99 yards to go for a touchdown with 2:04 to go in his first quarter of play. But Hutch was unable to punch it in there, and that's one that you hope doesn't come back and bite him. So it will be South football, 1st and 10. And silence has kind of hit this crowd here on senior night because I think they're expecting the arms to go up, and I was too.
A little bit stunned. Hutchinson didn't punch it in.
Yeah, turn straight ahead running, nothing there, and Wright barely got anything, maybe a foot on the play. Running back there was Andelon, and he's got a foot on the play. It'll be a second down, and still I'm going to call it 10. South back in the shotgun. Freeze to turn. Allion on the outside. Bounces, got some room. Now he picks up about 3, maybe 4 yards up to the 5-yard line. Brings up a third down and 5 situation.
That gave Salina South just a little bit of breathing room. So at least if they do have to punt, their punter won't have his heels on the back of the end zone.
So it will be third down, and we're going to call it 6.
Third down, Cougars.
Back to pass. Freeze steps up in the pocket, has room to run, and he's going to take to the ground, and he's up to about the 20-yard line, picks up the first down. So he got out of trouble in a nice way by scrambling away. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 for South at their own 20-yard line inside the minute of the first quarter of play.
When your opponent's on their own 5-yard line, as a defensive back, you don't want to give up a 95-yard touchdown, and that gives a lot of field to cover, and the quarterback was able to scramble.
Gives straight ahead running again, and nothing there. 2nd down and 10 is going to be the call, and 40 seconds before the end of the quarter. Again, that running back carrying it there was Andelon. He's a sophomore. Play-by-play gentleman for Salina South Radio said that he's been playing pretty good football.
He's been getting lots of touches. Occasionally, a junior Seth Clemmer will come in and get some carries also, but we haven't seen Seth carry the ball yet tonight.
Here's the snap, the keeper by the quarterback, Freeze around that left side, and he's going to be brought down at about the 28-yard line, short of the first down. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short situation, and that's going to be the end of the quarter. We'll take a 1-minute timeout as teams switch sides and ends. We'll be back. No scores of yet. Salina South 0, Hutch 0. We'll be back in 1 minute. 0. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Need a pharmacy you can rely on? One where they focus on learning your name and your needs? Being the best pharmacy possible, having a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and stocking the products you need is what Ashcraft Pharmacy is all about. Whether it is dry skin, a cough, or runny nose, aches and pains, or something that requires prescription medications, you can count on Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson. Stop in, call, pick up curbside, or we'll be happy to deliver. Ashcraft Pharmacy, Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowan Stadium. 0-0 is your score. We head to the second quarter of play. And it will be Salina South football. They will have it at their own 28-yard line, facing a 3rd down and 2. Big play here for Salina South early after stopping the Salthawks on the 1-foot line. Trying to keep the football, and Freeze runs out of room out about the 33-yard line, but he does get the first down.
In that first quarter of action, Hutchinson picked up 5 first downs, 72 yards. Salina South just 1 first down, 29 yards. But the numbers that really matter the most on the scoreboard say 0-0.
So 1st and 10 now for Salina South. So Freeze, with some good running on the last 2 keepers by himself, has picked up some nice yards. Here to give Adelon with the football on the outside. Off tackle, he's got the first down and more. And he rolls up to about the 47-yard line before the stop was made.
Might be coming back. There is a flag in the backfield.
Good defensive effort out there by Hutchinson as Dylan Garnett made the stop, but it will be coming back, as you indicated.
There was a holding penalty against Salina South, so erase that, what was it, about a 12 or 13-yard gain?
Yep.
Erase that and move them back.
So it'll bring up 1st down and 20 now, or thereabouts. It's from the, 1st down and 20 from the 23-yard line. 11:42 to go in this second quarter of play. No score as of yet. Hutchinson took it all the way down to the 1-foot line on 4th down, could not get it in. Back to pass, throwing it across as a receiver out there. Incomplete pass. Good defensive effort, and there's the flag.
A lot of hand fighting was going on between the receiver and the cornerback.
And that's Hennahaw out there that had him covered really good.
Yeah, he was
late flag came in.
Definitely running stride for stride with him. It was a well-thrown ball, though, Glenn.
So let's see if that's going to carry with it, and will, an automatic first down.
15-yard penalty in high school.
Mm-hmm. So they'll move the chains with 11:27 to go the drive still alive for Salina South. Again, they got an interception right away on Hutchinson, but then coughed the ball up, and Hutchinson got the turnover. And Hutch took it all the way down to literally the 1 foot line.
Apparently it's not an automatic
It
first
is not.
down, so it'll be 1st and 5.
1st and 5 from the 38. Give up the middle and squeaking through there with some positive yarding and getting the first down. It could be Andalon. Ian Andalon, good-looking sophomore. So Freeze looks to the sideline for his signal for the call. 1st and 10. They'll have it on the 40, right at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Salina South. South on the move. They took this all the way from their 1. Adelon with a keeper on that left side. It was an option, elected to let him handle the football, and he carries forward with a pickup about 5 yards. 2nd down and 10 now to call. 2nd down and 5 now to call.
That Hutchinson Salthawk offense really wants to get on track. Looking back against Salina South the last 5 years.
Yeah, there's a penalty on the play, Dan.
42, 49, 45, 44, 42 points. So I was expecting a fairly high-scoring game tonight, Glenn.
Got to race that nice run. Takes it all the way back to the 35. So Salina South keeps shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. They'll mark it at the 35, and that's going to be a 1st down and about 18.
Expect him to go to the air again.
He's been successful. Freeze the quarterback. Has twins on both sides. Wants to throw it. Here comes the rush for him and trying to get Turman out of bounds. Now he finally throws the football, and he was just about to run out of bounds. And it'll be an incomplete pass.
Hutchinson went with the blitz. In pregame, we talked about that one of the keys for that Hutchinson defense to stop Salina South is to take Freeze out of his comfort zone when he drops back to pass, and that's what happened on that occasion.
Still had an opportunity to complete the pass, but he did not. 2nd down and 18. 10:27 to go, 2nd quarter action. No score as of yet.
He barely escaped about an 8-yard loss. He did a nice job of avoiding the pressure coming straight up the middle.
Twins trips on the right side, single wide out on the left now. And Freeze play action, throws the football, has a receiver out there, incomplete pass, and he was belted, Freeze was, by the pressure that came from the outside.
Freeze is he's looking at the white hat for a flag because he did take a pretty hard blind side hit as he released the ball. That pass was intended for Carter Copes, and quite frankly, it should have been caught.
Griffin Cook came in with lots of pressure on him. 3rd down and 18 now. And really made him rush that a little bit. Still, it was a good throw, incomplete pass.
He laid it right into the arms of Copes in full stride.
Twin set on both sides of the line now. Back to pass pressure. Here comes the blitz. Wants to throw the football and does. Incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down for Salina South. They must punt the ball. 4th down and 18.
Coach Mike Vernon looking for an intentional grounding call because there was no Salina South receiver. And here comes the flag.
So he was able to talk that one out, and they'll back it up more. With that goes the loss of down, but it goes to 4th down anyway, so they'll have to punt the football from a little bit farther distance. Yeah, he was way outside the pocket, and there was nobody within any close distance. So back it up another 5, or more than that, actually.
Yeah, it's a tough penalty.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's all the way.
You lose the yards and you lose the down.
All the way back to the 13. 4th down is going to be the call. And a whole lot of real estate to go. 4th and 41.
Yeah, you don't have anything in your playbook for a 4th and 41 other than punt.
So in the end zone, low snap. Here comes the punt. They got it away. Booming kick. They're going to let it bounce, and it's going to take a Salina South bounce across the 50 inside Salthawk territory at about the 9-yard line. So Hutch with good field position, and Hutch will take over at that spot. 10:04 to go, 2nd quarter of action. No score as of yet. Hutchinson got about as close as you can get without punching it into the end zone. And give South credit. They were able to get it out and had it manageable. Then all of a sudden the penalties started stacking up on them, and they went the other direction with it.
Salina South stopped themselves on that possession because you're right, Glenn. They were moving the football, but 3 very big penalties stalled the drive.
Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, and Matt Peterson with you tonight. Glad to have you along, both on the Hutch Post as well as KWBW. There's a carry up the middle to about the 46-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5. And again, that was Hogan again.
Hutchinson needs to get into an offensive rhythm right now on this drive.
2nd down and 5 inside of South territory. Ball on the 46-yard line. Wideouts left and right. Lang, the quarterback, man in motion, gives it. He'll keep it himself. Nothing there. He's trying to rip loose, and he's strong. He carries forward, and he's within 2 yards of the first down. Pickup of 3 yards on the carry.
Looked to me like he should have given the ball to the fullback on the option, but give Nick Lang credit. He refused to be tackled easily, and he carried Salina South defensive players with him.
Lang, a good size kid, like I said. He's got some size to him, as well as he's sitting there at 6'6", 195, and he was able to. Contact was made at the line of scrimmage then, and he took it forward for 2-3 yards.
And those were big players that he dragged.
Man in motion, to pitch on the outside. Here's Kokar trying to turn the corner. He's at the 40, he has the first down and more, all the way down to about the 38-yard line.
The rocket toss appears to be open anytime Hutchinson wants to run it.
So it will be a 1st and 10 for Hutchinson with 8:45 to go in the second quarter of play.
The nice thing about rocket toss is it really removes the big 3 defensive linemen from the equation.
Here's an interesting score. Eisenhower 14, Ark City 0, and Ark City's the team that beat Mays this year.
Ark City only has 2 wins.
Wanting to throw the footballs, Lang, incomplete pass.
So go figure, Ark City with only 2 wins, and one of them was against Mays. And Mays at that time, I think, was ranked number 5 in the state in 5A.
McPherson has exploded for 3 scores, 17-7 now. McPherson on top of Buhler in second quarter action.
McPherson's pretty good.
Here's 2nd down and 10.
So is Buhler. Both those teams are pretty good.
Hutchinson with the football, 8:19 to go in the second quarter of play. No scores as yet. Hutchinson split out, wide receiver out. That's Malachi Miller on that far side. Kokar was split out wide on his left. And again, you go with Hogan in the backfield. Lang, the quarterback, 2nd down and 10. Wants to throw the football. Goes for it. Out there he has Kokar, and he goes between his hands, incomplete. He had to look back over his shoulder, and when he did, he lost his stride and it went right between his hands.
He got man-to-man coverage on the Hutchinson sideline, and Kokar is fast. He outran the defensive player, was probably 3 yards behind him. It was a good pass, maybe a little bit towards the sideline to where it was coming directly over Kokar's helmet.
Yeah, bend a little bit more and look up over his shoulder. You see that made on Sundays all the time, which is always amazing to me. It's 3rd down and 10. The give this time, straight ahead running, and does not have the first down, but has a positive 5 yards.
The nice thing about Hutchinson Salt Hawk football, when they get inside their opponent's 40-yard line, you know they're in 4-down territory.
That was Ben Patterson on the carry again. So 4th down and 5 is we're going to call it. Ball's right at the 33-yard line.
Typically, an offense will try to pull the defense up across the line of scrimmage first and see if they can get the first down by penalty.
Go with a hard count right here. Lang up under center. Man in motion. And I think they tried to get him. I thought maybe they bit right there.
They tried.
And a timeout's going to be taken. Coach is going to talk things over. Burgess had broke like it was going to be a rocket toss, and that did. They started to bite on it, but were not able to. We'll get a quick 30-second timeout, and Hutchinson on the drive. No score as of yet. 7:29 to go in his first half of play. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
The fullback.
Yeah, you're right. They do not have the fullback out there. And let's see if they're going to adjust to that or not. Now they'll set up.
Confusion on the Hutch offense.
7:29 to go on his fourth down call in the second quarter. Play clock down to 16. Now a man in motion. Lang wants to throw it. High arching pass. He's got a wide open receiver. Catch is made out there. O'Sullivan with the catch.
Kellen O'Sullivan got wide open, streaking down the Salthawk sideline.
Beautiful pass by Lang as he just put it high, arching pass. That's a highlight material right there. 7:23 to go in his first half of play, and Hutch is on the board with a touchdown. 6-0, they lead it. What a beautiful pass. I was in awe of Lang's high arching pass, and I looked, and O'Sullivan was wide open to catch the ball.
He got himself open. That was a well-designed play.
Here's Runyon's point after. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And your score with 7:23 to go in his first half of play. Hutchinson 7, Salina South 0. We'll be back in 30 seconds for the Salina South kickoff. 30 seconds for the Salina South kickoff.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Talked about needing a fullback, Dan, and really they had enough time to get their formation set up right. And what a great call on the pass. And O'Sullivan was just able to drift right underneath the ball at about the 5-yard line and took it in unscathed.
In fairness to Hutchinson, this season they're moving players around in the backfield almost every play. It's a different person at fullback, somebody else at the right slot, somebody different at the left slot, somebody different at the wide receiver spot. So it can get confusing.
Here comes the kickoff, and Runyon puts a toe into it. It's going to be taken up by the up back at about the 10-yard line and trying to get something done. And thrown down, and it's going to be a flag on the play, more than likely a face mask.
I think it was holding against Salina South.
It might have been. That's Drew Emerson. I saw where the flag was thrown, though. It looked like it might have been at the defense.
Stephon Hunter had the return man in his sights, and someone on Salina South just reached out and grabbed Stephon
You're right.
Hunter from behind.
There's the holding call.
But Hunter still made the tackle anyway, so that'll back up Salina South another 10 yards.
Drew Emerson looked like he was going to carry it forward for a few more yards, and that'll drop it back to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 for Salina South on their own 10-yard line. They trail Hutchinson 7-0.
I like the way Stephon Hunter plays football, by the way. Cornerbacks, they're out there on an island a lot of plays. They have to be pretty tough-minded, and he's got that.
So 1st and 10 now the call here. Freeze, the quarterback, slaps his hands, throws it on the outside. Catch is made over there at the 10-yard line. Out of bounds, picks up a maybe 3 yards in the play. Good coverage by Hutchinson. Inman 38, El Saline nothing. Inman Teutons are real. They've only given up 3 points this season, and here we are in week 6. And Derby 21, Campus 7. Those are second quarter scores.
Kinzer Newquist came up quickly from his free safety position to make that tackle.
2nd down and 5 is the call. The give to the running back, nothing there. Looked like they had a new face out there, Seth Clemmer.
We expected to see Seth Clemmer, but he didn't get any carries until that one.
And I'll move it across the 20. Good enough for the first down. They'll move it to the 21. So 1st and 10 now for Salina South. Cougars have ran the ball effectively, Dan. They've been able to pick up first downs. They just have not been able to get deep into Salt Hawk territory. There's a little delay around that right side. Nothing there defensively. Hudson comes up and puts the stop on the running back. And again, that's going to be Clemmers. He's getting a turn at running back. Newquist comes up and just leads the charge.
Salina South has shot themselves in the foot a few times tonight with penalties. And quite frankly, Weston Freeze, he put 2 or 3 passes right on the money that were dropped.
Nolan Cunningham on the stop as well. We noticed Nolan had a dark visor on the pregames. He does not have it on now. So that was just for the pregame workout. Second down and 9.
He looked like Darth Vader in that visor.
Second down and 9. And he gives straight ahead running. Nothing there. Back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up a third down and about 9, maybe give it 8. Mark the ball right at the 23-yard line. So Hutchinson's using the blitz effectively, stacking up the middle, letting those linebackers do their job. Newquist comes over to cover on the far side, trips to the left side, and they want to throw the football. Freeze wants to throw it across the middle. Catch is made, and still loosen up on his feet and gets the first down. McDaniel with the catch. That'll move the chains. Ball's going to be right at about the 34-yard line.
Weston Freeze has a good arm. That was another pass that hit his receiver right on the numbers.
And move the chains. Ball's on the 34. I remember saying last year that he was really a good sophomore quarterback when we were up at Salina. That's where we played South in Salina last year. 1st and 10. Again, straight ahead running, bounces out. That's going to be Klemmer, and he's thrown for a loss. Klemmer's thrown way back. And let's see where they mark his forward progress up to about the 32-yard line, thereabouts.
Hey, that's Dorian Hippen playing on the defensive line. Remember, Dorian Hippen was a defensive lineman his entire football career, and he moved to fullback a couple of games ago for Hutchinson. He's playing defensive line again right now.
Second down and just a little over 10 yards to go for South. Back to pass Freeze. He's had some success. Throws and catches made on the far side. Short of the first down by about a yard. Hunter comes up to make the stop. Lakin Webb on the catch.
When Freeze has time to plant his feet and find his receiver, he puts the ball on target. Hutchinson's going to have to hurry him up and get a little pressure on him.
Ball at the 43. It'll be third down and about 2 to go for the first down. Again, Klemmer staying in there, running back. Seth Klemmer. They'll split wideouts on that right side. That's going to be Lakin Webb, who just caught the ball. Trips to the right, single wideout on the left side. Single backfield carry, and Klemmer does not get the first down. He's short by a yard and a half. It'll bring up a 4th down and 1, and I kind of feel like this is probably where they're going to have to punt the football away, but let's check it. Klemmer comes up limping just a little bit.
Right now, the offense still on the field for Salina South. It appears they're going to give it a shot.
So 4th down and 1, they are going to go for it. Let's see if this is just a matter of maybe trying to draw them off sides. And the play clock is going to run down. They'll take a timeout. We'll take one too. 7-0 ball game. 4th down and short for Salina South. 3:47 to go in this first half of play. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com, a CRH company.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Again, 7-0 Hutchinson with the lead. It's 4th down and short. Mays Eagles leading Mays South 20-0. 5 minutes left to go in the first half of play.
That's a surprise. By the way, that's called freeze check timeout. When you send your players out there to draw the opponent off sides, and if they don't jump, you just call a timeout.
And it looks like they're trying to do it again. Play clock down to, now they're going to go for it, and catch is made on the outside, and it'll be enough for the first down right up to the 50. Nice catch out there. Looks like McDaniel came down with it again.
Gutsy fourth down call to go to the air.
Well, he put twin sets on both sides, so you're flooding that zone. You're getting one-on-one out there. You just find that little open area, which is right around the 50. And now they're at the 49 of Hutchinson on the drive with 3:31 to go in his first half of play. Keeper on the outside. It's going to be Freeze, and he's going to be corralled at the 50. Loses a yard on the play. Defense stretching the field really well. And Nolan Cunningham over there, first man to get to Freeze. So it'll be a loss of 1 on the play, second down and 9.
Nolan Cunningham is such an impressive athlete in football and in baseball. Tall, strong, fast, smart, kind of guy that makes you look good when you're a coach.
The Holy Wars, Capon 7, Carroll 7. That's in first half of play.
Ooh, that is going to be interesting.
Second down and 11. Here they give to Clemmer, and he carries forward, gets about 3 yards on the carry. Seth Clemmer will move it into Salt Hawk territory, and he'll mark the football right at about the 48-yard line. So this will bring up a third down and 9.
Salina South, if they want to have 2 downs to make this first down, they probably need to pick up at least 5 yards on this play.
Again, trip set to the right side. Lone setback and wanting to throw the football and it's going to be picked off. Cunningham with the interception at the 41, trying to run to the right side. There's a flag on the play. He's upended, but he gets back to about the 48-yard line. Let's see what the flag's going to be.
The flag came out after Nolan Cunningham had already secured the football on the interception.
Took those big hands, just snagged that ball, and then started to go across the field and see what the flag's going to be. And you're correct, it's going to be after the interception. So Hutchinson picks up a turnover from South. That'll be the second of the game. The other one was a fumble recovery. And with 2:19 to go in quarter number 2, with Hutch leading 7-0, let's see what they sort out here.
Good opportunity to score right before halftime for Hutchinson.
As they come out to confer.
I think they are going to back Hutchinson up. It might have been a hold or a block in the back.
And that's what the indication is.
After the interception.
After the interception. So Hutchinson will have the football where they mark it. And they're just figuring out where they're going to put the football after they mark off the penalty. 2:19 to go in quarter number 2. And Hutchinson leading at 7-0 over Salina South. Tight ball game here. Kind of anticipated it was going to be.
Thought it would be higher scoring, though. And it might be in the second half.
Be in the second half, you're correct. They're going to walk it off against the Salt Hawks. And they officially are going to move the football back all the way back to the 26-yard line, 27 is where they actually put it. So Hutch will have the football. They'll have to go close to 75 yards for the score.
Hutchinson has 2 timeouts, 2 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the second quarter. They do have ample time to put some points on the board before halftime.
Nick Lane comes out, quarterback again for Hutchinson, getting his first start this year. They split wideouts left and right. Again, Hogan. There's a rocket tip pitch on the outside to Kokar around that edge. He gets up yardage all the way out and out of bounds, finally at about the 38-yard line. He'll get the first down.
Unfortunately, another flag just came out, and it's probably against Hutchinson.
Comes from where you normally get the hold at with 2:13 to go in this second quarter of play. Let's see where they're going to mark it.
You're right, it's a hold.
So they'll mark it deep in Salt Hawk territory all the way to the 20.
It's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so...
Second and 17.
Be first down again, though.
First and 17. Salt Hawks get ready to go here.
That was a good rocket toss run by Noah Kokar. Unfortunate that it came back. We really haven't seen rocket toss too many times.
Not too
this
many
season.
times, especially with Kokar at the quarterback spot. Now he gets an opportunity. He's going to sit up wide out on the right side off the line of scrimmage. More than likely a passing situation. There's Lang back in the pocket, looks ahead, throws the ball, has a receiver out there. It's caught at the 50. There goes Kokar. He's down to the 20, the 15. It's touchdown time for Hutchinson. Hutch put 6 on the board. They lead it 13-0. What a pass by the quarterback, Lang. Caught him in stride at the 50, hauled it in, and took it to the house.
That was not an easy catch to make either, because he was running across the field diagonally, and that ball was coming right over the back of his head.
1:46 to go in the second quarter of play, and Hutchinson struck from a long ways away. What a pass play.
That's a big-time highlight for Hutchinson.
Here's the kick. It's not there. It was partially blocked at the line of scrimmage. It'll be no good. But your score with 1:46 to go in the second quarter of play, Hutchinson 13 and Salina South 0. We'll be back right after this 30-second timeout for Hutchinson's kickoff.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
How about that? It's 13-0, an 80-yard touchdown pass from Lang to Kokar. And just what we said before, the one thing when Kokar was a quarterback he couldn't do was catch the football.
Pretty hard to throw it to yourself at the quarterback position.
And he caught it in stride. And it was a hard catch to make, as you described, that he caught it right at the 50, and down the middle of the field he went for 6.
Nick Lang led him perfectly, though. Really nice pass, well protected. Good job.
Here comes the kick. It's going to go out of bounds, so it'll be out to an automatic touchback, basically. And a flag on the play for kicking it out of bounds with 1:46 to go. Good one going on between Dodge and Hayes. Dodge City 10, Hayes 6. It's a good one.
Both those teams playing pretty well this season.
So 1:46 to go here. Cougars will have the football.
Only 3 undefeated teams right now in 6A, Blue Valley Northwest, Manhattan, and Derby, and only 3 undefeated teams in 5A, Spring Hill, Mays South, and Capon.
So 1st and 10 from the 35 now for Salina South. They'll split wideouts both left and right. Back to pass, wanting to throw the football. Catch is made on the outside, and then it's shoved out of bounds. Catch over there by Drew Emerson. And let's see where they mark it. It's going to be short of the first down, I believe. They're going to mark it right at the 44, 1 yard short, 2nd down and 1.
He got out of bounds, though, and stopped the clock.
Yeah, up in 1:41. They only took 5 ticks off the clock. McDaniel was split out wide on the right side. He's kind of a favorite of Freeze. Also back in there, running back is Ian Adelon. The running back to pass, and there's a flag, stoppage of play.
Well, going to back up Salina South 5 yards.
So false start against the Cougars. That'll back it up a little bit. These two teams, like I said, this is the 20th meeting. Hutchinson has the edge 16-3. Second down and 6. Ball's at the 39-yard line of Salina South. There's the snap. Back to pass is Freeze in the pocket. Throws it to the left side, and catch is made at the 39-yard line. They'll call it the 38. He rolled forward. That's good enough for the first down.
What an amazing throw and catch.
Kid can throw the football, and that was a nice catch on that far side. Again, his receiver out there was Drew Emerson.
He threw it from about the right hash mark all the way towards the left sideline. That ball was in the air a long time.
1st and 10 with a minute and 27 to go. Clock's moving along because the ball was caught and then he stayed in bounds. Back to pass, Freeze. Freeze step back, and now he wants to really heave it. He goes toward the end zone. Receiver's out there. Incomplete pass, and no flags on the play. Intended for Lakin Webb, who's a senior 5'11", 192-pound wide receiver. He would have made a phenomenal catch if it got to it, but he did have an opportunity to get to it. Incomplete pass.
That ball was in the air for about 50 yards. Freeze has a cannon.
Freeze is kind of a gunslinger to some extent. The best thing about playing a gunslinger is make them keep that six-shooter in their pocket.
Well, you've been watching a lot of Gunsmoke episodes, so.
And did we have a flag? Yes, we did. Declare at the 35-yard line. I didn't see. Boy, lots of penalties in this ball game, Dan. So it's going to be against the Cougars. So it'll bring up a 1st and 15 situation. Now Hayes 13, Dodge City 10. So Hayes has battled back. Back to pass. Setting up across the middle. McDaniel's the intended receiver. Incomplete pass. Nice coverage down there by the Salt Hawks. Yeah, 2nd down and 15.
Was that Henaha on the coverage?
It was Henaha on the coverage.
He was all over the receiver. Excellent coverage by the corner.
So 2nd and 15 now. Ball on the 47-yard line of Hutchinson. Salina South on the drive with a minute and 8 to go in the second quarter of play. Again, they'll send wideouts, trips to the right side, back in the pocket, the pass. He's flushed out. Now he wants to throw it, goes across the middle, an incomplete pass.
Because of the pressure. He had a receiver open. Had he had time to set his feet and throw, based on what we've seen so far, you can pretty much assume he would have put it right on the money, but the pressure forced him to throw it before he was set.
3rd down and 15 now for the Salina South Cougars. Ball on the 47, a minute and 2 to go in the second quarter play. Hutchinson leading 13-0. If South is able to get a score, it would be big in this ball game. Back to pass, Freeze again in the pocket, gets it across, catch is made, and out of bounds he steps to the 38. Nice catch over there on the far side by Carter Copes.
He did a good job of catching the ball and getting out of bounds, but he could have picked up a few more yards because that does bring up a 4th and 6.
58 seconds now left to go in this second quarter of play. 4th down and 6, as you just indicated, Dan. South on the move right now.
Can't fault him, though, for wanting to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Hutch won this matchup last year, 42-17 up in Salina. Back to pass, Freeze. Here comes the pressure. He gets out of the pocket, wants to throw the football. Incomplete pass. Goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Nice pressure by Hutchinson coming from both sides, basically. Made him hurry the pass, and now it's a 1st and 10 situation for Hutchinson. That was 4th down, but the down marker didn't show it. So 1st and 10 Hutch now with 51 seconds remaining to go in the half. They lead at 13-0.
Okay, now here's a situation where might not be a bad idea, again, to run rocket toss and see if you can pick up a big gainer on 1st down. And if you do, you try to score before halftime. If you don't really get anything out of 1st down, maybe you get conservative.
Well, Lang showed he can throw the ball tonight. That's another option that you would have on 1st down to say, hey, let's go for the long one. Who knows?
Well, and Kokar is at wide receiver, so it probably will be a pass.
Back to pass. Lang lobs it out. Catches. Incomplete. Contact was made at about the 48. Good defense out there as the intended receiver was Kokar, and South put some good defense with Carson Power. He's a sophomore out there on coverage.
Now, he had good coverage. Kokar made a valiant effort to catch the ball, and it was a pretty good pass, but the coverage was very good. Kokar stays at wide receiver.
Split wide on that left side.
Hogan is another weapon you could go to. Hogan is in the slot on the right side.
2nd and 10 for Hutchinson. Ball at the Hutch 38-yard line. Lang, the quarterback, back in the pocket. Wants to throw it outside. Catch is made to get out of bounds. Oh, not yet. He stays in bounds. Now he's trying to stretch for the sidelines. He's stopped at the 45-yard line as the clock keeps ticking away.
Hutchinson will burn a timeout. They'll have one left.
He's trying to see who the catch was made by over on that far side.
I thought it might have been O'Sullivan, but I couldn't tell for sure.
Possibly was. So we're going to keep it here with 36 seconds remaining to go in this second quarter of play. A 13-0 ball game. Hutchinson with the football with 3rd down and short, 3rd down and 3. What you don't want to do here is make a mistake.
That's right.
Take care of the football. A couple more scores. Wichita East 14, Garden City nothing.
Wow, Garden City has played so well. They're 4-1, and they've broken into the 6A rankings, so kind of expected them to win tonight.
And Mays 28, Mays South 7, so Mays South has got on the board right before halftime. In that city of bragging rights for Mays over there. Here we go, Hutchinson, 3rd down and 3. Ball on the 45 of Hutch. They got to get to the 48. Lang, the quarterback, up under center. Doobie, the big center, back to pass. Lang. Catch is made by, incomplete. One right between his hands for Kokar.
Would have been a first down.
I thought he had the first down. I thought he had the catch made, but it ends up being an incomplete pass. So 4th down and 3 situation. Hutchinson with the football at the 45 with 32 seconds remaining to go. Will they punt the football away? Let's see what the decision is going to be.
With a 13-0 lead and 32 seconds to play, you would think they would probably punt, but looks to me like the offense is still on the field.
So far, the offense is remaining on the field. Stay tuned after the ball game. Nick Lang with the Kansas High School scoreboard show. Back to pass is Lang. He gets across. And Kokar, incomplete pass. It went right off his hands, and he's holding his head. Fans wanted a pass interference, didn't get it. And taking over on downs now will be Salina South.
Kokar did beat his man again, but that time the pass was a little bit underthrown. It gave the defensive back time to recover.
Again, Nick Gosnell's show will start right about 9:30 tonight. It's the Kansas scoreboard show.
Really interested in listening every Friday, but especially tonight because I'm a little curious what they're doing over in Wichita with the water main that broke.
Exactly.
And I guess they canceled school yesterday and today.
They say maybe by Saturday, which is tomorrow, might get things back to normal.
So do you know, are they playing the football games in Wichita
Yeah,
tonight?
most of them are playing, from what I can tell. 1st down and 10 now for Salina South, and they've got the ball inside of Hutchinson territory. Back to pass now. Hutch defense being called upon to get the stop, and near pick over there, and just about a near catch, but incomplete pass stops the clock with 21 seconds remaining for Salina South. 2nd down and 10.
So in this situation, Hutchinson really doesn't care if Salina South picks up 10 or 15 yards. You just don't want to give up the big play.
So 2nd down and 10 inside of Hutchinson territory. Ball's on the 45-yard line of the Salt Hawks. You're exactly right. Don't let them catch it, but let them catch it and keep them in bounds. Scurrying, here comes the sack, and they get a big one. Hutchinson with a big sack all the way back to the 41 of Mays South.
Dorian Hippen from his defensive line position, and was that Ben Patterson that got in the backfield?
That was big number 45 for Hutchinson. Was one of the ones that got in there, and that's Griffin Cook. That's halftime. Halftime is here. Your score at halftime, Hutchinson 13, Salina South 0. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, get set for the in-game capsule brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Again, 13-0, Hutchinson with the lead. Dan and I and Matt will be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
Hey friends and neighbors, Nextech Wireless here with a super exciting deal. Right now is the time to get the newest iPhone or Android on us. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is ready to get your new device set up and running right. By the way, we know that it's you who makes our business great and our neighborhoods home. Thank you, Nextech Wireless customers. Visit, call, or text 877-621-2600. We are Kansas.
Cody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salthawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit codysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salthawks.
All Vader Jackson financial advisors are now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house, time and date to be announced soon. We understand there have been many changes, so please feel free to reach us at 669-8291. Check for updates at envisionig.com. Envision Investment Group, your future is our focus. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, everybody. We're back. We're at halftime. Hutchinson leading 13-0. Had an opportunity to get another score right before halftime, but did not get it. And also the defense stood firm and stopped South from being able to get into the end zone. And that's what we said at 13-0. Hutchinson with the lead. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. And I thought about this week another service that the Medicine Shop does. They will text you when your medication is ready. Number one, they'll automatically fill like a 90-day prescription. Then they'll text you and let you know it's busy. It is there. And also, if you're busy, and like if you went to the physician, you have a script written, they will let you know when a new script is written as well. So they do all kinds of services like that as well as deliver. They do just a little bit of everything. That's the Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. Scoring summary, pretty easy to do. Hutchinson, Nick Lang passed to Kellen O'Sullivan, complete for the touchdown. It was a 51-yard drive in 7 plays, and it was a 33-yard touchdown pass. Point after kick was good by Runyon and made it 7-0. Then Lang on a pass to Noah Kokar, caught it at the 50, took it 80 yards for the touchdown. Runyon's kick was blocked, and there's where we set at 13-0. Hutchinson with the lead at halftime over Salina South. Other numbers, Dan, that jump out at you?
Well, Hutchinson picked up 210 yards of total offense in that first half compared to only 106 for Salina South. Hutchinson having success throwing the ball tonight. Nick Lang, 4 out of 10, 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. There was 1 interception, and Noah Kokar having success catching the ball. 2 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. Kellen O'Sullivan, as you said, Glenn, the 33-yard catch for the touchdown. And Malachi Miller has a catch for 7 yards. The other number that stands out to me are the penalties tonight. Salina South committed 6 penalties for 66 yards, and that's the biggest reason they were only able to pick up 106 net yards of offense, because they went backwards several times due to penalties. Hutchinson not playing clean either, 46 yards of penalties on 4 flags. So it was a 10 penalty first half. That's quite a few flags coming out in a high school football game.
And I heard them at several different points when they were really starting to get some momentum and drive. So South moved the football on this defense, and I'm sure that's what's being talked about right now in the locker room for Hutchinson, is saying the defense, even though you made big plays and big loss on the blitz like we just saw just a little while ago, you cannot let them throw the football and catch the football as wide open as they were. The covers got to do a little bit better.
That's right. Remember, one of those penalties came after Salina South picked up 13 yards, would have been a first down, and instead it moved them backwards. And on that particular series, they committed 3 big penalties that pretty much they stopped themselves by way of penalty. Now, it was a nice interception by Nolan Cunningham. Ben Patterson does have 6 tackles from his linebacker position in that first half.
And a couple carries in the ball game as well.
That's right. He did carry the ball a couple of times. I think that surprised our statistician because he's not listed on the stat sheet, but we remember him carrying
carried
it
twice
a couple of times.
for positive yardage both times. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. This is a little bit longer halftime show than normal because of senior night that the celebration they had. So we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll let you enjoy the fine Salt Hawk marching band that's on the field right now. We'll be back after 2 minutes, 13-0 at halftime. Hutch on top. We'll be back. Halftime, Hutch on top. We'll be back.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
Your choices at Prairie Star Health Center just keep getting better. Dr. Cecilia Hinton has joined our exceptional staff and invites you to rely on her as your primary care provider for your health and wellness concerns. And she'll be right there with you to address any chronic diseases, aggravating pain, or other issues. Dr. Hinton knows it's all about you at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Let's get those taxes done. At H&R Block, we can file your return by October 15th, no matter where you filed your extension. Avoid a late filing penalty and get every credit and deduction you're entitled to. Drop in and stay, or drop off and go. Or call 662-5321 to make an appointment today. At H&R Block, Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hutchinson High School sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Well, something we don't do all the time, Dan, is let the viewers on the stream and those that are listening at home as well listen to this fine Salt Hawk marching band at halftime. So let's let them have a couple minutes of this fine Salt Hawk marching band. You had indicated it looked like a circus out on the field, and
the animals are out there on the field. I don't know if you can pick it up on the live stream or not, but there are lions and tigers out there, and elephants, and different cardboard cutouts of animals, and they look pretty cool.
Tell you what, these kids, they work hard, and you can letter in marching band just as easily as you can being an athlete, and they put in hard, hot hours in the summertime with band camp and etc. And their sharply looking unit as well is also coming out now. It looks like it's going to be the dance line as well as they perform here for the senior night tonight. I want to remind everybody it was a blackout night tonight, and also it was the Boys and Girls Club were on their food drive. And from Melissa Newton-Lope talked about the fact that it looked like they did a pretty good job. 2 years ago, they raised 700 pounds of food that was given, and we think they might have came close to that as well this year.
That could just be an annual event on senior night moving forward here at Gowan Stadium. It's a good cause, and we have so many big-hearted, generous people in Hutchinson that it's nice that they're willing to help out.
Yep, and that's exactly what Melissa's thinking about doing as well. to make that an annual event. So hopefully they will. And, of course, what we're talking about tonight is the fact that this could be the last regular season. Well, it is the last regular season home game. We're not sure if Hutchinson will get a first-round game or not. Right now, we're leading it's 13-0 at halftime. If they can take care of business in the second half and then take care of Campus and take care of Mays, that would just about be assured because they're right smack dab in the middle of that 16-team field in the West in 5A.
Yeah, you would think 5-3 would probably get you a home game in Week 9 for sure. 4-4 might get you a home game. 3-5, probably not.
Probably not, exactly. And we'll just have to see what's going to happen. Another good team in the area is southeast of Salina. They lead Goodland 38-0. Now, they're playing that in a whole nother time zone, but that southeast of Salina is not affecting them as they have the lead right now over the Goodland Cowboys 38-0 at halftime. And they're playing some pretty good football. They're undefeated as well in their classification. Russell 21, Colby 6 at halftime score. Scott City 14, Smoky Valley 8. Scott City was beat by Russell in overtime a week ago, and they're back in the winning column right now, at least at halftime, leading Smoky Valley up the road here 14-8 at halftime. Newton 17, Goddard 10. So the Newton Railers, at least at halftime, up by a touchdown over Goddard.
Goddard's down a little bit this year. Remember, they had the really good quarterback that graduated last year, and they have a little bit younger team this season.
McPherson 24, Bueller 21. That's a halftime score. So they got a good one going there. Salina Central 7, Andover Central nothing at halftime. And Washburn Rural 14, Manhattan 14 at halftime. So there's a big one right there. Eisenhower 27, Arc City 14.
And
that's also at halftime.
And next year, Hutchinson Salthawk football will open against Goddard Eisenhower.
And you're so on top of it, you've already got the schedule out for next year. I know it runs deep in the Nacarado family, poor Kylie. Anyway, and Luke as well. As you already have the schedule out for next year, so we'll open with Goddard Eisenhower.
Next year, instead of playing Valley Center and Garden City, Hutchinson added Goddard Eisenhower and Andover to the schedule. We'll play,
is it Andover Central or Andover?
It's Andover.
Okay.
Hutchinson will play Goddard Eisenhower at home in Week 1, and Andover, I believe that game is at home also, and that I think is Week 8 next year.
Tomorrow's going to be a little bit warmer, 11 degrees warmer than it was today, but come on out to Gowan Stadium anyway at high noon to kick off between Indy and Hutchinson Blue Dragons. It's going to be a big game for both teams. Indy's undefeated, ranked number 3 in the nation. Hutchinson number 13 is 2-2 on the year, but just came off a nice win over Garden City last week, 24-16. So that sets up a big showdown tomorrow. Well, probably one of the game of the weeks in the nation between Indy and Hutchinson tomorrow afternoon. That'll be a 12 noon start.
The postseason's a little bit different this fall for the NJC. So how does that work this year?
Well, the postseason is going to be basically going to be a playoff of the top 4 teams. And in the Kansas Jayhawk Conference, it's a playoff of all 8 teams. So you play it out. 1 will play number 8, host number 1, 2. The top 4 teams will host the first round. Then you go to respective higher seeds in the second rounds of play there, with the championship to be played at Riverfront Stadium over in Wichita, if anybody missed that. That was an announcement that took place just the other day.
That's the Jayhawk
Conference Championship. Will the winner from that be in a national championship? I'm not sure. Again, the league is so tough, you would think that it would be representation would take place. Snow's still undefeated, but Snow's really not playing the competition they played last year. Now, I said that last year, and we went down there and they gave Hutchinson a heck of a ball game, but still, they're not playing a really tough competition, and they are an independent. But you got Iowa Western, some of those teams. I still think they have to play Iowa Western, which should be interesting. But top 4 teams in ranking, which is fair, go to the national championship rather than just the first top 1 or 2.
So the Jayhawk Conference Championship will be over in Wichita on November 21, and then there will be 2 semifinal games for the NJCAA Championship.
Exactly. And we don't know if if the winner of the Jayhawk Conference would beat in that or not. You just don't know. If it's an independent that only has 0 losses, more than likely it would be.
And the national championship game is in
Little Rock,
Arkansas.
Arkansas. You betcha. It's there for a 3-year stint. And we had it for the first year when Hutch won it this last spring. So that kind of catches you up in that department some. But it's going to be a big game tomorrow. It's to stay in that running for a national championship for Hutchinson with 2 losses is just about a must-win. So Indy could afford to drop that one and still take care of business the rest of the way. At the same time, they have to play undefeated Coffeyville as well. Coffeyville ranked number 8 in the nation. So it's a typical Jayhawk Conference year with Indy, Coffeyville, Garden City, Hutchinson, Butler, all with having great teams this year.
You went out to Garden City. Big win for Hutchinson Community College there on Saturday.
Congratulations to the guys. Second 2-minute timeout, and we'll set the stage for the second half of play. We're at halftime, 13-0. Hutchinson with the lead. Glad to have you along tonight. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Need a pharmacy you can rely on? One where they focus on learning your name and your needs? Being the best pharmacy possible, having a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and stocking the products you need is what Ashcraft Pharmacy is all about. Whether it is dry skin, a cough, or runny nose, aches and pains, or something that requires prescription medications, you can count on Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson. Stop in, call, pick up curbside, or we'll be happy to deliver. Ashcraft Pharmacy, Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
And welcome back to halftime. And 13-0. Hutchinson just came out to start warming up on the field again. 13-0. Hutchinson with the lead. Let's run down some other scores. Meade out in western Kansas leading Leoti 25-12. Topeka West 22. Highland Park 14. Heston 34. Halstead nothing. Derby 49. Campus 7. Andover 13. You're talking about playing Andover next year. They lead Valley Center 13-0. And TMP 20 out of Hayes over Southwestern Heights 0. That's just some of the scores that are taking place across the state of Kansas. In about an hour, you can hear Nick Gosnell with the Kansas High School Scoreboard Show with different recaps from all across the state of Kansas, from other Eagle stations as well as other stations as well. I think Nick said he had 9 recaps from different people across the state of Kansas. Those are always interesting to hear who some of the other football stars are across the state. And right now, Rock Creek also 41, Jefferson West nothing, and some other scores that are. And Little River keeps playing well. They won 50-0 because of the point difference that they have at that level over Bennington, 50-0. That is a final already in from Little River. They keep playing really, really good football over there. Even though they lost a lot to graduation, they still are really playing some good football over in Little River. So just some scores that I wanted to pass along right here. Hudson again stretching out. So is Salina South. And what do you expect out of the second half, Dan?
Well, I think Hutchinson is probably going to have more success moving the football. Now, they did pick up 210 yards of total offense in that first half of action, but I expect to see them put more points on the board, especially in this third quarter. You look at that Newton game a couple of weeks ago, Hutchinson really looked fantastic offensively in the third quarter, and I'd like to see Hutchinson come out, take the kickoff because they deferred. Hutchinson won the toss tonight. They deferred. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter. like to see them drive down the field and put some more points on the board.
Yep, 13-0 here at intermission. Exactly right, and Hutchinson defense stood pretty firm in that first half. Like you said, Salina South kind of shot themselves in the foot several times with penalties.
Six penalties. Earlier, Glenn, you mentioned Andover. I just wanted to bring up Hutchinson did play Andover last year, but that was because Derby had COVID-19 problems.
We tried to find somebody to play, and we did, and we lost to the Trojans.
It was 14-7, and it was a good game, but I think I like next year's schedule, and I wanted to give a big shout-out to A.D. Kevin Armstrong at Hutchinson High School for putting together a very good schedule that really doesn't require too many miles. So there's no reason that fans can't travel and support the Salthawks every week.
You knock Garden City out of that schedule, not having to go out there. And we might have lost Matt on top of the roof out there because it gets a little windy. We would have had to tie a cord around him maybe and have him hang on. But we won't be making that trip unless it's in a playoff situation.
Well, and if I remember, Garden City will still be 6A next year, and Hutchinson will be 5A.
Exactly. So that's not going to happen. So, and again, the only thing that's bad about playing Goddard Eisenhower is you got to play another Armstrong.
That's right.
And Eric being the athletic director at Eisenhower. So, anyway,
we've been playing them in basketball, and we always enjoy that matchup.
This year, it's Andover Central is the main matchup for both the girls and the guys in basketball. So that's going to be interesting to see
tough,
as
especially
well.
On the girls' side.
Both teams back out on the field, so we're about set to get the second half underway. Our chief engineer tonight is Misty Korn. She's doing a great job. I understand she's having some problems with the board back there, so doing some stuff manually. We appreciate her hanging in there to get that done. So hang in there, Misty. We know it's not always that contraption is not easy to run, and I can't even tell her how to do it. That's how far away I stay from it, but she's doing a great job. She's tomorrow night. She's tonight. Tomorrow night we'll have Trey Stalsbrenner. We'll run tomorrow afternoon. We'll run the board for the Hutch Community College game. We appreciate our chief engineers doing a fine job and work hard and have to pay attention to the game immensely to know when to take the timeouts and when to come back and all those things. Now, Hutchinson won the toss and deferred to the second half, so the Salthawks should receive the football and will be defending, I believe, the goal to the opposite direction.
If I'm Salina South, I consider trying an onside kick or something a little bit outside the ordinary here because I just have a feeling Hutchinson will be able to move the football no matter where they
Here's the thing about South, though, Dan, is they're one score from being back in this ball game because of that missed extra point that was blocked.
When you're 1-4, you're willing to gamble a little bit more to try to steal an extra possession or two and give yourself a chance to pick up a win on the road.
Yeah, we talked about the fact they only had 3 wins on the road and over Hutchinson. That was in 2012, 13, and 14 is when those all took place.
It was a big-time turning point the year Hutchinson won its first state championship in 2004. A very close, hard-fought game, and Wes Kimmel moved from defense strong safety to take over at quarterback in that football game as a sophomore, and he played quarterback from that point on until he graduated, and he ended up leaving with 3 championship rings.
And also Hutch and Salina South were state champions back in 2004. So
that's right, because Hutchinson was 6A and Salina South was 5A.
Exactly. So here we go.
Good job, Glenn.
Kickoff's going to be kicked by Salina South. Again, they'll defend the goal to the north, and Hutchinson will defend the goal to the south, of course. And Hutch deep to receive. Looks like it might be Noah Kokar back there deep, and he'll let it bounce down. It just about goes out of bounds. He finally does pick it up and just step out of bounds with it.
Great kick. The ball bounced straight up in the air, probably 6 inches from the sideline.
You don't see that happen very often.
Noah Kokar really had no choice other than to go ahead and grab it since it bounced straight up in the air, and the Salina South cover team was right on top of him.
Yeah, Hutchinson had Terrell King back there as a deep man as well, as we've seen him start to get some play at the varsity level. Hutch will split wideouts left and right this time, and Lang will remain in there at quarterback. Done a good job in that first half of play. He'll keep it himself around the outside. Gets the pitch off and forward across the 20. Kokar falls forward to about the 22-yard line. Picks up a couple on the play. we'll say 3. It brings up a 2nd down and 7.
For Salina South, Luke Simpson did a marvelous job of fighting off the block and making the tackle. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty big gain.
Malachi Miller will split wide to the right side, and you've got O'Sullivan off to the left. He's already caught a touchdown pass tonight from Lang. Lang, a little taller than Kokar, gives him an advantage. He'll keep the ball himself and wants to roll to the outside. Steps outside, trying to pick up a block and spin move all the way up. He'll carry it to the 30, and he'll give him a first down. That second effort there by Nick Lang. Nice run by the big 6'7" quarterback, and he takes it for a Hutchinson first down at the 30.
When you watch the Salthawks on film or on the live stream, so many times you see 10 guys on offense doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and one guy just misses an assignment and it stops the play, and it's a different guy. It's not like it's one player that is messing up frequently. So if you could just get all 11 guys doing their assignment, this Hutchinson Salthawk offense could be scoring a lot more points.
Laying down under center now again. A turn to give straight ahead, running up the field up to the 40-yard line. Nice heavy pickup right there by Hutchinson as he carries it forward. And that's Hogan on the carry.
Traditionally, Hutchinson does an excellent job with the halftime adjustments, and they usually come out and play a good third quarter.
I'm anxious to see what they're going to do on defense because they let Salina South get a few first downs, and as you indicated, 6 penalties won against South. That really stopped some drive, stopped some momentum, and see what Hutchinson does here on their second down and short situation. 2nd down and 2 from the 38 for the Salthawks. Lang, the quarterback, he'll keep it. Gets the option out. Here goes Kokar. He's off to the races down that left sideline all the way down to the 45-yard line. Great move. Last-minute pitch by Lang. Looked like they've done it all year long.
Kokar delivered a blow as he was going out of bounds, too. He administered a little bit of punishment to the would-be tackler.
They'll mark it at the 47. 1st and 10 Salthawks at the Salina South 47.
Noah Kokar, 5'9", 167 pounds. He's fast and he is strong. And when you look at his body composition, there's not any body fat on that young man. It's muscle.
1st down and 10 now for Hutchinson. They're at the 47-yard line of South.
A little bit of confusion. Okay, Kokar's got it figured out.
Yeah, he'll go out in that slot and he'll move it to the outside.
I think Hutchinson.
Now Hutch wants to talk things over. They'll take a timeout. So we'll take a timeout as well. 10:01 to go in the third period of play. 13-0. Hutchinson with the lead. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more right after this.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowan Stadium. Third quarter action, 10:01 to go in the third quarter play. Hutchinson 13-0 with the lead over Salina South. There's a give to Hogan. He tries to get a little bit more on the play, and he picks up about 3 yards on the carry. It brings up a 2nd down situation for the Salthawks. So Hutchinson faced a lot of 2nd down and 8 situations. So 2nd down and 8 is what they face again here. So 2nd down and 8 for Hutchinson. And a long snap count by Lang. Turn, give to the right side. It's Hogan straight ahead running across the 40. He's going to break loose at the 35, all the way down to the 30. He's loose again. He's down to the 20, 15, 10, touchdown Hutchinson. Hogan broke about 3 tackles at the line of scrimmage, got the first down, and just kept churning, and he gets 6 on the board for the Salthawks.
That's a 44-yard touchdown run by Nick Hogan.
And Hogan got that all on his own, and he takes it all the way to the house with 9:02 remaining to go in this third period of play. Well, that's highlight material right there for Mr. Hogan, one of the best runs he's had all season long. And he'll try the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 9:02 remaining to go in the third quarter of play, Hutchinson 20, Salina South nothing. We'll be back right after this 30-second timeout for the Salt Hawk kickoff. We'll be right back.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com, a CRH company.
Well, what a great run by Hogan. He was bottled up right at the line of scrimmage. He broke loose, and down the sidelines he went, and he just was not to be denied when he got outside. That was vintage Alex McEwen from last year.
That's true. The best start you could hope for to the third quarter for Hutchinson, about a 3-minute, 81-yard drive that put points on the board.
I felt like Hogan was going to break one like that all season long, and he's played well. But right there, that was an exceptional run. That showed what he could do with the football. Ball's going to be kicked and taken at the 19-yard line on the far side. Salina South trying to return it. McDaniel, he's still up on his feet and finally dropped it about the 26. Started running lateral rather than upfield. The coach has always said what you got to do is north and south, right, Coach?
Especially on kick returns when you have a cover team spread out from sideline to sideline. When you run east and west, somebody's going to come tackle you.
Unless your name is Tyreek Hill. That would be the exception to that. So with 8:54 to go in the third period of play, 20-0, Hutchinson with the lead. What a great run by Hogan to put 6 on the board for the Salt Hawks. So let's see what South's going to do if they can answer. Now in the first half, I have to give them credit. They moved the ball a lot against the Salt Hawk defense, but had a lot of penalties that brought things back. Here's a give on the outside, nothing there. Trying to turn the corner on the far side over there, Seth Clemmer, and he goes maybe for a yard. We'll make it 2nd down and 9. So Ben Patterson on the stop. He's starting to get active at that linebacker spot now.
That's 7 tackles for Ben Patterson, and that was a solo tackle. He actually has 6 unassisted tackles in this football game.
So he'll get set defensively. There's another takedown right at the line of scrimmage. Again on the carry is going to be Adelon, and he went nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So 3rd down, and we'll give him 8 to go for the first down. Give him a yard on that carry. So Adelon is set up behind Freeze, and Freeze the quarterback. Now Freeze started throwing the ball quite well in the second quarter of play. Back to pass here. Here comes the rush. Little pressure on him. Gets him out of the pocket. He throws it downfield. They come back for the ball, but incomplete pass. Intended receiver and a flag on the play. It looks like it could be pass interference. Newquist was out there in cover, as well as Salina.
Hennahaw.
Yeah, Hennahaw. And Lakin Webb looks like he was one of the intended receivers, and a flag on the play.
Hennahaw and Newquist, the 2 defensive backs, collided as they came over in coverage.
Yeah, Hennahaw is going to come out of the contest, and that'll bring into the contest for the first time tonight Terrell King. He'll be one of those cover 2s back there. So they'll give the penalty, will go against the Salt Hawks.
Give Weston Freeze a lot of credit for evading the rush, throwing that ball on the run, and he put that ball again right on the money. If it had not been for the pass interference, the ball probably would have been caught.
1st and 10 now for Salina South. They'll send a twin set to the left side, still with a single back in the formation. And they do the delayed draw. They'll give it away. The pickup of about 4 or 5 yards by Adelon. Hard running off that slant, and it makes it a 2nd down and 6 situation. So 2nd and 6. Ball's at the 48-yard line of Salina South.
Devin Hackney did a good job coming up and making the stop.
So 2nd down and 6. And the give to Adelon. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be thrown for a loss. 2-yard loss on the play. He slams his fist on the turf because he thought he should have been able to break that one. It was not the case, and brings up a 3rd down and 6 call on the 48. It's 3rd down and 8 to call.
The live stream has such high definition pictures this season. Matt Peterson's doing a wonderful job.
3rd down and 6 now. Back to pass. Freeze to the left side. Catch is made. He's got the first down on the far side. McDaniel caught the ball for the first down. And that'll move the sticks here with 6:33 to go in this 3rd period of play. Hutch leading at 20-0.
A lot of advancements technologically have been made with those images, Glenn. Appreciate everything you've done to make that happen.
We're always relying on how wide and the strong the broadband is. That's why on the roads where sometimes I'm tickled pink when I find a hard wire. Back to pass is Freeze. Incomplete pass went for the intended receiver downfield, and that would have been Lakin Webb on the catch. And was not the case as it went incomplete, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. So 2nd down and 10 facing, again, this Salina South team that's hungry for a win. They got a win over Capon. That's the only win they've had not Capon, over Campus. That's the only win they've had all year long. They played McPherson tough in the first game of the season. They'll throw it on the left side. Catch is made on that far side. If it's the catch sticks, it's going to be good enough for the first down, and it will be incomplete.
Official said he was out of bounds. In high school, you only need to have 1 foot in bounds. In the NFL, you have to have 2. College is 1 foot also, and it makes for a little bit more excitement on some of those catches.
2nd down and 10's the call. May South on the drive. They trail 20-0. 6:23 to go in this 3rd period of play. Back to passes. Freeze steps up in the pocket now. He's going to run with the football. He's at the 40 down to the 35. He's hit. Gets the first down though on second effort. And I think it's going to be close for the first down. I thought he had it for sure, but now I'll back it up and let's see where they're going to mark it. They're going to mark it at about the 34-yard line, and it will be 4th down.
Freeze bounced off a pretty hard collision and almost picked up the first down afterwards. But the Hutchinson Salthawks rallied to the ball.
I thought his forward progress, Dan, was going to give it to him, but not the case. It's 4th down and 1. And it's kind of in no man's land. It's too far for a field goal and too close to be able to punt it unless you're effectively able to get it inside the 10 or the 5. So they're going to go for it. Here's the turn alley on, and he's going to be close, but I think he's got the first down the way the mark is. That'll move the chain with the ball at the 32. 6:09 to go in the 3rd quarter play. So the Cougars moving the football. Trying to get some things done here and trying to get back in this ball game at all possible. 1st and 10. Freeze back to throw again. He goes long. Has a receiver out there. It's McDaniel. Catch is made as he dropped the football right at the 3-yard line. Double coverage he threw into, but McDaniel just about came up with the big catch. And he's talking to himself right now saying you should have hauled that one in.
Another pass right on target.
Newquist back there in coverage. Also, it was the sophomore for Hutchinson, as King was back there as well. He's a freshman, was back there in coverage. How about getting some experience and 5A football at the varsity level, huh? Yeah, turn on the outside. Met and thrown for a loss is the running back, and I think that was Patterson that came up and got him.
Another unassisted tackle for Ben Patterson coming from his linebacker position.
Grabbed Adelon and just threw him by the shoulder pads back. And
Patterson, he's been solid all season.
It's a 3rd down and 11 call. Yeah, he's been the man at that linebacker spot. 3rd down and 11 for South. They clap the hands. There's the throw, incomplete pass, and it brings up a 4th down. Stops the clock with 5:03 to go in the 3rd. Hutchinson leading 20-0.
Kinzer Newquist had the coverage. Would have had to be a perfect pass to get through. And there was a little bit of pressure again on Freeze. He couldn't set his feet exactly the way he wanted to.
Boy, go back on that touchdown run by Hogan, 40-plus yards. It just bounced off about 2 different times. He bounced off tackles to take it down the left side into the end zone. That was a pretty run by Hogan. Right here, 4th down and 11. Freeze the quarterback for South. He backs up. Now he's chased to the right side. Wants to throw the football. Does. Has a receiver down there. This time the catch is incomplete, or they say he caught it. They're going to say he caught it at the 5. Boy, the fans don't agree with that call.
That's Carson Power, the sophomore.
Complete all the way down at the 5. Salthawks thought it was incomplete, but that was not the call on the board. 1st and goal now for Salina South. And
the coverage was good.
It was great.
A good pass and a good catch.
And he was flushed out of the pocket. He Freeze, but he threw it right down to McDaniel for a 1st and goal situation at the 5. Adelon straight ahead running. He's tackled at the 5-yard line and dropped right there. 2nd down and goal.
Ben Patterson tickles me sometimes because he wanted more than the tackle. He was doing everything he could to strip the ball loose because he knows when your opponent is back there inside the 5-yard line, it's great to force a turnover.
Yeah, Ben playing like a hound dog out there, just sniffing where that ball's going to go and trying to meet the runner at the line of scrimmage, if at all possible, and driving backwards. Clock at the 4:23 mark of the 3rd period. 20-0. Hudson on top, but South driving right now. Inside of the 5-yard line. Back to pass. Freeze. Throws it for the corner. McDaniel out there. Nothing called. Incomplete pass.
How about that coverage again by the freshman? Terrell King all over him.
King with some good coverage back there. So Newquist doing the job. You're right. King came in for the injured tight Hennahaw just a little while ago. Roughing the passer is going to be the call. I did not see that flag. It'll be half the distance to the goal line and automatic 1st down.
Yeah, that's a big penalty.
So one of the Salthawks, I was watching the flight of the ball and the coverage in the corner. I did not see the flag or the hit take place.
It was still excellent coverage by King, though. That was a fade to the back corner of the end zone, and the corner doesn't get any help on those. He's all on his own.
So 1st down and goal for Salina South. Adelon, he's met at the line of scrimmage there and dropped again. 2nd down and goal. 4:06 remaining to go in his 3rd period of play. Boy, no sooner does Freeze get that ball handled off to Adelon, and a black-clad Salthawk is there to make the hit.
I can't see the number, but based on the shoes, I think that was Dorian Hippen.
And that's what you're going by, because that's what we did when he was at the running back spot.
Right.
All right, 2nd down and goal. Again, Adelon this time straight ahead running, and it's going to be short of the 1st down of the goal line by about a yard. Now, Hutchinson was stopped in the same position back in the 1st quarter of play. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a 27-0 game right now, Dan.
If Salina South does not put this ball in the end zone, that would pretty much rip their heart out.
3rd down and short. 3rd down and 1. See if they get it to Adelon again. That's what they've done the last couple times. They do, and this time I think he's going to take it into the end zone for the touchdown, and that's what he does. Touchdown for 1 yard out by Adelon with 2:58 to go in his 3rd period of play. Salina South is on the board. 20-6 is your score. So Hudson with the lead at 20-6. Let's see if they should go for 2 or will they kick the field goal, and they're going to elect to kick the extra point,
Since Hutchinson missed an extra point on one of their touchdowns, it's a 14-point deficit right now, so it would be smart to just kick it.
Caden Budke, the sophomore, will be the kicker. Now, what bothers me, and there's a hold, and the kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And your score is 20-7. Hutchinson lead is cut a little bit, but Salina South is on the board. What bothers me is you got a quarterback out there holding the ball in extra points, and chance of getting hurt is increased there, but they made it there. 27, that's your score, 20-7. Hutchinson with the lead. We'll be back for the Salina South kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So glad to have you along. Misty Corn on the board back at the KWBW studios. Don't forget Dragon Talk on Monday night with Drew Dallas and Rob Dreher. That'll be happening about 6 p.m. Then the Chiefs Kingdom show after that. Reno County Coaches show on Thursday, which we hope to get a hold of the Inman head football coach as they're off and winning again tonight. My goodness, over El Saline. They've only given up 3 points all season long. Dan, when have you heard about a team doing that?
That's so difficult.
Here comes the Salina South kickoff, and Hutchinson needs to take this ball and take it right down the field. They'll catch it at the 15 and get set for the return, trying to turn it on the outside. Here comes King. He's at the 25 and the 30, up to the 35. Flag on the play, and he's ran out of bounds at the 40-yard line. But let's see what the flag's going to show. More than likely a spot holding back there. But what an exciting return by King as he ran where the wall was to pick up some blocks and turn that corner. Maybe the reason he was able to turn the corners, there might have been a hold out there.
That's definitely coming back, unfortunately, for Hutchinson.
2:48 to go in this third period of play. Lots of excitement in the second half of play. Hutchinson's put 7 on the board, and so has South. And it's going to be against the Salthawks, so they'll have to go the full 80 yards now for a score here, and there's 2:48 to go in the third period of play. Hutchinson has one 80-yard scoring play tonight. That was Nick Lang to Kokar. Caught it about the 50 and took it to the house. Lang under quarterback for Hutchinson. Man in motion. Lang's going to keep it. Has a big hole. Cuts against the grain. And he's clear up to about the 26-yard line before he's thrown back. Lang, good-sized young man. Again, 6'7". Good size. And is dropped over there after pickup of about 8 yards. So second down and 2.
Give Salina South credit. That was an impressive 6-minute, 73-yard scoring drive to get on the board.
Hutchinson in their black uniforms with blue numeral trim. They're black numbers, but gold and blue trim and blue helmets. Like the design and how this looks for the Salthawks. Sharp uniforms. There's Kokar. He'll go in motion, but they're going to give it off to Hogan. Big opener. He's at the 40. Midfield. Hogan all the way. You will not catch him. He gets his second big touchdown of the night with 1:54 to go in the third period of play. Hutchinson puts 6 on the board again. Hogan all the way down with a big run.
On the previous series, Nick Hogan went 44 yards for the touchdown. This one's 72 yards.
72 yards for the TD. And Hogan's making a highlight reel tonight. 26-7 is your score, and they answered that South touchdown in a big way. Wow. I had just mentioned that they were 80 yards away, and great job right there by Hogan to take it 72 yards. Here's the hold and the kick by Runyon. It is up, and it is good. And your score with 1:53 to go in the third period of play. The Salthawks 27. Salina South 7. We'll be back with the Salthawk kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Hey friends and neighbors, Nextech Wireless here with a super exciting deal. Right now is the time to get the newest iPhone or Android on us. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is ready to get your new device set up and running right. By the way, we know that it's you who makes our business great and our neighborhoods home. Thank you, Nextech Wireless customers. Visit, call, or text 877-621-2600. We are Kansas.
Well, welcome back. Thank you, Misty Korn. You're doing a great job of chief engineer work back at the BW Studios. And Hogan with a 72-yard run. You know, Lang took it for 8 yards. It was 2nd down and 2, and he gave it to Hogan right away, straight up the middle running, but then he pops to the outside and provided big holes provided by that offensive line, and he was off to the races.
Got to show his speed.
He did. So Hutchinson will kick off, leading at 27-7. And here comes the end-over-end kick. It's going to be taken at the 10 and turned upfield, trying to get to the outside, and it's spun away. And out of bounds goes Carter Copes.
Well-placed kick. It was right on the 10. Not only the yard line, but the number 10. That's where you like those kicks to go.
1st and 10 now for the Salina South. Now they worked their way all the way down, got it down to the 1, took it in from 1 yard out, took a lot of time off the clock with 1:49 to go in this third period of play. I mean, they took a lot of time on that drive to take it down, and then you turn right around and boom, a 72-yarder on the run by Hogan for his 2nd touchdown of the night. That's a backbreaker.
That's right. Salina South, their drive was 6 minutes. Hutchinson's drive was a grand total of 55 seconds.
So Salina South will break huddle, and they'll come out and set up, ball on the right hash mark or our near hash mark, as we have a beautiful view from Gowan Stadium press box. Freeze, the quarterback, looks to the wide receiver on the left side, directs him to get up on the line of scrimmage. There's a little end around. They give it to McDaniel, trying to turn the corner on the outside. There's a couple Salt Hawks. They come up and meet him right at the 25. They stick him and stick him good. Out there was Hackney to make the stop.
Salina South went deep into their bag of tricks, went to the reverse. Hutchinson had no part of letting them pick up yards.
I knew when McDaniel turned the corner out there, and I saw 2 black-clad Salt Hawks out there just waiting for them to come, and Hackney was one of them, and he just stood him straight up and down. 2nd down, we'll give him 2 on the carry, 2nd down and 8. Back to pass is Freeze, pumps once and goes long. Receivers out there, overthrew him at about the 50-yard line. Good coverage out there again by Hackney, as well as doing a good job out there was, I believe, it is Hennehaws back in there on the coverage. So Newquist, Hennehaw, and Hackney basically daring them to throw in their direction. 3rd down and 8, from the 25. Freeze the quarterback. He's went the distance. Junior quarterback for Salina South. Back to pass. He rolls out of the pocket to the right side. Pressure on him. He'll throw it up the field, and it's incomplete. Newquist had him covered from the front side. And also coverage out there was Cunningham. Brings up 4th down and a punt situation for Salina South with 59 seconds to go in the third period of play.
4th down and 8 on their own 25-yard line. They really don't have much choice other than to go ahead and punt this football.
You and I and Matt are sporting some pretty good shirts, courtesy of Coach Vernon.
We appreciate Coach Vernon's generosity. We like these black H-Hawk shirts.
I do too. I like it a lot. Here we're going to punt the football away. It'll be South kicking. By the time the punter receives the ball, he'll be on about his 11. It's going to be a possibility. Got a good punt away, though, and a fair catch is called for at the 40, again by Newquist. So Hutch will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line, leading it with 52 seconds to go in the third, 27-7. So basically, for all intent purposes, a 3-touchdown lead. We'll take a full minute break when we get to the quarter mark here, just to let Misty know back at the BW Studios on our next timeout. For 1st and 10 for the Salt Hawks here. You got Hogan back there again. We haven't seen much of Hippen tonight. We've seen Ben Patterson a couple times, but it's been Hogan's show tonight.
Hippen moved back to the defense tonight.
Back to pass. Lang sets up, throws it, has a receiver out there. Catch is made at the 35. Diving is Kokar for the catch. He'll haul it in at the Salina South 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Salthawks.
That was exactly the same play that Lang connected with Kokar for an 80-yard touchdown pass in the second quarter.
39 seconds to go. They moved the chains but did not stop the clock as they were moving the chains, and that's academic as this is the third period of play. Hutchinson's with a 1st and 10 now from the 35 of Salina South. Lang's done well throwing the ball tonight. They give it to Hogan. He'll squeeze through and across the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. So a pickup of 6 on the play, 2nd down and 4, and that should wrap up the third period of play. As we get set to go to the fourth period of play, Hutchinson leading 27-7. We'll be back with more football action from Gowan Stadium and senior night here for the Salthawks right after this 30-second timeout.
Cody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salthawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit codysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salthawks.
We go to the fourth quarter of play, and the third one was a good one for the Salthawks. 27-7, Hutchinson up by 3 scores, or 3 touchdowns, I should say, over Salina South. And I go back to the Salina South drive. It was a good one. Took it all the way down to the 1, punched it in, but you turn right around, you give up a 72-yard run, basically, that just breaks your back. It's like, oh, we worked so hard to get down there to get basically kind of back into this game, and boom, you're down again. And now another touchdown and now the big pass that makes it even more luxurious for Hutchinson now to eat some clock if they wish to, but they have the ball 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line or 28-yard line of Salina South.
Hutchinson now has over 400 yards of total offense.
Give on the outside, Kokar around the outer perimeter all the way down to about the 17-yard line, excuse me. And
the adjustment of putting Nick Lang at quarterback and moving Noah Kokar around to various positions in the backfield and Hogan back to the fullback position has worked out very well in this third quarter.
In the pregame, Dan, I made light of the fact when I said there's something that he couldn't do, and that's catch the football when he's the quarterback. It's really made a difference tonight, putting him out there to be a weapon, and he just caught that big, long pass that set up this deep drive, and now it's 1st and 10 from the 18 of South.
He has 3 catches for 120 yards.
Burgess in there as well. It gives to Kokar again, and he's trying to turn the corner at the 15. He's dropped there and was not able to get positive yardage.
Sometimes Kokar is at the wide receiver position, sometimes the R slot, sometimes the L slot, and it's hard to scheme against a player that moves all over the formation.
11:04 to go in this fourth quarter of play. Kokar's really gotten it done. Not at the quarterback spot tonight, but at the slot, and like you said, also the wide receiver slot. Right now he's in the slot on the right side. You got Hogan back there at that tailback spot. Burgess goes in motion, wanting to throw the football is Lang. Stops back, throws it, incomplete pass at the 5. Double coverage over on that far side. Didn't have much choice rather than to throw it out of bounds, even though Kokar was the intended receiver.
Well covered by Pettinger and McDaniel for Salina South.
So it'll be, with 10:42 to go in this fourth quarter of play, a 3rd down and 8 call for Hutchinson, leading at 27-7.
Well over 400 yards of total offense for Hutchinson in this game.
Freshman and JV squad will be up at Salina South on Monday, 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock game times. There's Lang on the keeper, big hole. He sees it close quickly, but not before he got down to the 6-yard line. I think he has the 1st down. It'll be a 1st and goal for Hutch from the 6.
Shea Lafort from his defensive line position is playing hard. He's 6'3", 291 pounds, and he just made a tackle 8 yards downfield chasing down Nick Lang.
how big of hole does Lang need on that far side? I mean, they're gigantic. I mean, they think they're going to still throw that option, so they have to keep their eye on that slot or wide receiver on the outside. And you can just see where he just picks which way he's going to go. And right there, he's able to first put it into the inside the red zone and make it a first and goal situation from the 6-yard line. There it gives the Kokar. He's set up and stacked right at the 5-yard line. I mean, he was met by a big defensive end that just put a big old bear hug on him. That was Shea Lafort. He's 6'3", just 291. Put a big wraparound hug on Kokar and brought him down to 5.
Salina South has some big defensive and offensive linemen. I mean, we're talking about 290, 292.
Well, look at Fletcher out there. He's 215, 6'1", but he looks bigger than that.
There's a player on the offensive side of the ball, 328 pounds, Jorge Franco.
Yeah, Franco's a big one. He's the center as well out there. Hudson breaks center and comes up quickly. 5 on the play clock. They got to go quickly. Underneath is Lang. He'll send a man in motion to pitch on the outside. Here's Kokar. He's going to get angled at the 5, trying to get to the pylon. He does! Touchdown, Hutchinson from 5 yards out. Kokar around that right side with 9:06 to go in the ball game. Makes it 33-7. Hutchinson with the lead.
We mentioned in the first half the rocket toss is open tonight, and that's what Hutchinson went to on that touchdown run to Kokar.
Kokar put 6 on the board for the Salt Hawks, and now see if Runyon can get the point after through. Hutchinson right now leads it 33-7, and this is where I kind of thought the score was going to be, and I was very surprised. First quarter ending 0-0, as was a lot of other people in the stands.
Yeah, we expected Hutchinson to put up some points tonight.
Here's the point after. Kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good. With 9:06 to go in this fourth quarter of play, it's Hutchinson 34 and Salina South 7. Hutch kickoff coming up in 30 seconds. Kickoff coming up in 30 seconds.
Alvader Jackson Financial Advisors are now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house. Time and date to be announced soon. We understand there have been many changes, so please feel free to reach us at 669-8291. Check for updates at envisionig.com. Envision Investment Group, your future is our focus. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Well, Hudson will kick the football off, leading at 34-7. Kokar with a 5-yard touchdown run. Other scores across the state of Kansas: Mia's 28, Blue Valley 25. It's also Blue Valley Northwest 28, Blue Valley North 7. Other games around the area to talk about: Andover 20, Valley Center nothing. So some good football being played out there as we're in district play. And we'll be getting to regionals before we know it. Hutchinson on the road next week to take on Campus, take on the Colts from Hayesville, and then wrap the season up against Mays at Mays before we get set on the 29th to go into the first round of regional play of the playoffs. So here Hutchinson gets set to kick the football off. We got just a little over 9 minutes to go in the contest. Nick, will be on time for you tonight for your scoreboard show. There's gathered in at the 9-yard line, turned upfield, spun around, and the runner is put down right at the 25-yard line. And that was Zaldion that basically was the kickoff return man. It'll be 1st and 10 for Salina South at the 25.
Exactly 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
Kind of what we expected this game to be to start with. You and I were both surprised with nothing. Hatch had an opportunity to punch it in the first quarter. Was not able to get it in. Brought Kokar in at quarterback for his lone carry tonight. And was not able to punch it into the end zone. But after that, it's been all Nick Lang and company getting it done by way of long runs and long passes.
Zach Hogan breaking away for a couple of big ones.
His total yardage is going to be huge tonight. Freeze the quarterback. Open pockets, so now he'll throw it on the outside, incomplete pass.
That one was off target.
They did not have the setback back there or tailback position, so they'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 now. So now they've got one opportunity or one phase of the game, and that's going to go to the air. And 34-7. I go back to that long drive they took to punch in the end zone. Yeah, that was a good thing, but then they gave up the 72-yard touchdown. That just breaks the momentum. There's a pick. It's going to be taken down the left sidelines, trying to get to the end zone. He stretches. Touchdown, I believe. Hutchinson. Hutch came up with the big pick out there, and it's Newquist. As he came in and got the pick and took it down the sidelines, he dove into the end zone for 6. And Hutchinson gets the touchdown out of it. What a job on the pick right there. He read him perfect. And 6 on the board for Hutchinson.
I'm thinking it might be Cunningham.
Was it Cunningham?
Glenn. He's got the white socks and the white shoes.
I was looking at the 19 or the 14.
I'm using shoes tonight since I can't make out the numbers.
Hutchinson with the touchdown with 9:46 to be able to go. 8:46 in the fourth quarter of play. It's 40-7. Hutch on top.
It was Nolan Cunningham.
Well, we'll give credit to Honey Cunningham. He's number 19. Newquist is number 14. Here's the hole for the point after. It's up and on its way, and it is not any good. It's wide left. So your score with 8:46 to go.
Got a flag,
in this fourth
though.
period of play, there's a flag on the field, so keep it here. We'll see what it's going to be. That one, they kind of had to hurry up. One lineman was late getting out there. It looks like it's going to be assessed on the, well, maybe they're going to make him kick it over. Let's see what the referees say. Boy, it would be great for Runyon to get another shot at it right there because he hurried his kick.
What would you say? Was that a 25-yard interception return?
Yep, I think that's exactly where it would be. We'll find out from the official stats and we get them. They're going to let Hutchinson do this one over, I think. It's going to be on the defense. Was there too many men on the field, Dan, you think, possibly, or what was the call? Personal foul is going to be the call.
Roughing the
kicker. So that's one reason. Runyon was roughed up. By the way, I always see his aunt when I go to Jackson Meet, which, by the way, we'll be naming the Jackson Meet Player of the Game when we get into the postgame. This is going to be a tough one tonight. I got my pick already, but there's going to be two on offense tonight. I usually agree
with you.
There's going to be 2 on offense tonight. And there's the kick. It's up, and it is good. And your score with 8:46 to go in this fourth quarter of play. It's the Salthawks 41, Salina South 7. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll be right back.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed, the lowest price is guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Well, stay tuned after the ball game. We'll have the Medicine Shop post-game wrap, and then we'll get into the coaches show with brought to you by Jackson Meat, as well as Mike Link and Ameriprise Financial Services. You know, we'll be naming, after we talk to Coach Vernon, we'll be naming our Bringing Home the Bacon Player of the Game, and I got a couple picked out, and I got 3 picked out, so I'll surprise you, huh? Here comes the kick, and it's going to be taken out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. They'll mark it to the 35, or well, no, they'll mark it right there.
I don't know why the official threw the flag. He was expecting the ball to go out of bounds, but the Salina South
player caught it, yeah.
Yeah, he caught it, and then he went out of bounds.
That was all Andelon over there. They will say it's out of bounds, evidently, because his body was out of bounds when they caught it. It'll be 1st and 10 for Salina South as they'll have the football.
Now, I think they're waving off the flag.
Yep, they're going to mark it right at the 19 because that's where he caught it.
You know, Craig Helzer, he lines up all the officials for the Jayhawk Conference college games, and he's a tremendous official in his own right. He always tells officials, don't anticipate. Wait till you see it. Mm-hmm. There was a case where the official just assumed the ball would go out of bounds.
He's working some Division I now as well. And he's staying about as busy as he wants to, is what he's told me. I saw him at the press conference Saturday. Back to passes. Weiss Flushed out of the pocket to the right side, and he's going to throw it. Slings it downfield. Catches made by McDaniel at the 29. And it'll be good enough for the 1st and 10. So he picked up about 13 yards on the throw and catch. And I see a lot of cars leaving the parking lot on the far side, as this one is no doubter right now, 41-7.
But they're tuning their radios into KWBW 1450.
They might be, except for those ones that are heading towards Salina. I'm not sure they are.
98.5 FM.
There you go. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Salina on their own 29-yard line. That was a nice catch by McDaniel. Back to pass Freeze. Wants to throw the football. He's going to be sacked and thrown for a loss back to about the 19-yard line. Hutch comes in for the sack, and see who got that out there for Hudson defensively. Grady Bear was out there. A couple others were out there. 2nd and 19, facing Salina South. 7:47 to go in the 4th quarter of play. Don't forget, right after the completion of this game will be the Kansas High School scoreboard show. Nick Gosnell. There'll be a lot of Nick Lang highlights out of that one. That ball is free for the grabs as it was just went off the hands of McDaniel, and then he let it just lay on the turf, and
I think
they got back and got on it. I think it was an incomplete pass.
It was a forward pass. Yeah, if Nick Lang is going to do the scoreboard show,
that would be a good one. Too many Nicks out there right now.
We're getting Nick Gosnell out here to take a few snaps.
There you go. There you go. 3rd down, and 19 now from the 20-yard line. Weiss wants to throw the football. Gets it thrown, and catch wasn't made. I think
so.
I think it was hauled in out there by number 33, which is going to be Carson Power.
That's the second very good catch Power has made tonight, and it was another good throw by Freeze.
He's a sophomore. They got some nice young players right now that are sophomores and juniors, but they're having trouble filling the freshman ranks and JVs.
Yeah, they just need some more numbers at Salina South. Need some more guys to play football.
4th down and 3 from the 36. And throw intended receiver with McDaniel. Ends up being an incomplete pass, and Hutch will take over on downs. Cougars might have not thought that one through enough, Dan, although this game, Hudson's going to win it right now, leading at 41-7.
That coverage was pretty impressive.
So Hutch will have the football. And we're going to see a new quarterback out there for the Salt Hawks as Jax Hennahaw is going to come into the contest. He'll split a wide receiver out on the right side. So lots of new faces now in there.
Entirely new unit on the field.
Hennahaw, the quarterback, wants to throw the football, looks and throws it behind the intended receiver, incomplete pass. His intended receiver out there was Stephen Bishop. Second down and 10 will be the call. Jax Hennahaw from a long line of Hennahaws that have played football here. Titan right now, a defensive back. You had Maddox from last year. The give. First running back through has some room. 25 down to the 20 and finally pushed out of bounds after a nifty run down there by Burgess.
Zion Burgess, the sophomore, who has a bright future. He's been getting quite a bit of varsity action already.
Well, he's wearing the right number. That's number 12. Barlow had that for a few years and was successful out of that spot. And right there, he takes it all the way down to the 20. 1st and 10. Hutchinson inside the red zone again with 6:23 to go. I like the number 12. A lot of good players in high school, college, and pros wear it. There's a give straight ahead running. And forward carrying the football, I believe, is Gordon Peck. Graydon Peck, excuse me. I think that was number 13 out there. I might have to make a double check.
I thought it might have been 33, but we don't have a 33 on our roster. That was the number that Devin Hackney wore last week.
So back in the ball game now comes Burgess. Let's put a wide out on the right side. I think you're right. I think that was 33, but it wasn't Hackney. We know that. Down under center, Hennahaw. They give again, straight ahead, running into the end zone. Touchdown, Hutch. From 11 yards out on the TD. Carried straight up the middle for the TD. Illegal motion, so that's going to wave it off.
Nope. Okay.
Take it off the scoreboard. It's going to be still second down, but 41-7 is what your score will remain. They'll split wideouts on the left and right, I believe, when they get back in here. And tell you what, out there right now playing wide receiver, Xavier Walker, I saw him catching lots of balls in the warm-up. He's capable of catching them from out there. Burgess is set up in that tailback spot. Wideout split on the outside. The keeper, Hennahaw, he's wrapped up at about the 15-yard line. And thrown back for a loss, about a half a yard on the play. Third down to call. 3rd and 5.
Ty Clark getting some action in the backfield. Number 31, the 161-pound sophomore.
Now, I'm not making fun of him, but Hennahaw, 5'6", 120. When he meets some of those big linemen, he better be ready to go down and down quick before he gets hurt. So, but he's a tough one. All those Hennahaw kids are tough, tough, tough. The turn to give, straight ahead running up to about the 10-yard line. On the carry out there is going to be Armstrong. And it might have been Graham out there. I thought I saw a 25 as well. So it'll bring up a 4th and short.
Good-looking uniforms for the Hutchinson Salt Hawk in the black with the numbers that just have the trim. But we need Rusty Hilst here with the binoculars to spot for us.
Hennahaw, the quarterback. Turn.
Fumble.
Fumble on the play. Trying to get to it is Hennahaw. Salina South player says I came up with it, and if it's 4th down, it's going to be taken over on downs anyway. So it'll be, the football will be the possession of Salina South. They trail at 41-7 right now.
3:47 to play in the 4th quarter.
So 1st and 10 now for Salina South, but give the 2nd and 3rd unit credit out there. They came in and moved the football all the way down.
They did
actually
a good
got
job.
a score, but it was taken back because of the penalty.
They competed well.
So defensively now, same way as we're setting some new numbers out there as well. You see Jay Lewis out here in one of the corners, as well as different safeties out there. So we'll try to get numbers called. Back to pass. Freeze rolls out of his pocket. Wants to go long and gives it a heave. Nice throw. He's got a receiver out to McDaniel. Incomplete. Good coverage back there by a couple of different defensive backs. One of them specifically was Jay Lewis.
You called it right. Jay Lewis, outstanding coverage, running stride for stride way downfield because Weston Freeze launched that pass.
McDaniel was the intended receiver, with 3:38 to go now. Hutchinson leading 41-7. You believe this game was scoreless after the first quarter of play? Since then, it's been all Hutchinson. And we talked about the things you do at halftime and adjustments you do. Boy, did they ever. Bounce to the outside, and ball carrier is going to carry it up to about the 20 for Salina South. That's going to be Hunter on the carry. Clemmer, on the carry.
Juan Ford made the tackle.
Seth Clemmer carries it forward, pick up a 4th, 3rd down and 6. Third and 6 is going to be the call. Inman leading El Saline 60-0.
Another shutout for Inman in the making.
Long snap count. And there they hand off on the right side. Nothing there. The good defensive effort by Hutch. Loss on the yard of maybe about a half a yard, as Clemmer just had nowhere to go with the football. So it's 4th down.
Form tackle there by Christian Jansen. Or it might have been Dylan Garrett on the tackle. Sam Sellers, the head coach for Salina South, using the entire play clock. He understands that this game is out of reach.
Don't forget, stay tuned. Directly after the completion of the Salt Hawk game will be the Kansas scoreboard show. And ball hits at the 45. It takes a Hutch bounce. It'll be down right at midfield at the 50. And Cougars are going to go down tonight with 2:04 to go in the fourth quarter. It'll be Hutchinson football leading at 41-7. So that sets up a matchup next week with Hutchinson and Campus lost to the South team. So Hudson with an opportunity to go into Campus. You got to play the game. There's reasons why you play the game, but still with a great opportunity to go in there and possibly come out with a win. And that sets up then the last game of the regular season against Maize at Maize.
Last time you checked, Maize was defeating Maize South.
Maize is all over Maize South. 35-7 was the last score I saw on that one. That would be Maize. They're a fine team. Thought Maize South might give them a little bit more of that. There's a take a knee time for Hennahaw. And he drops back and takes the knee. It'll make it a second down on long situation with 1:53 to go in the contest.
Hutchinson will just run out the clock and be happy to prevail 41-7 in this football game.
And as far as I can tell, we came out injury-free on this one. Now, we did see that Daniel Hernandez had a cast on a foot and was on crutches, so that's something that might have happened this week in practice. We'll find out this next week when we have lunch with Coach Vernon again. But I think it's going to be a happy coach that came in, that they got things done in the last three quarters of play. Led 13-0 at halftime, right now lead at 41-7. Put up some points in the third and fourth quarter.
Third quarter was, again, a dominant quarter for the Hutchinson Salt Hawks. I'm very impressed with the way this team makes adjustments at halftime and comes out ready to play in the third quarter.
And another group of players comes in right now, and Lang's back in there now in a third down and long situation. And I think they're going to give the first team an opportunity to take a knee.
I think they are worried that, well, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, they're going to go into the victory formation again and let Lang. Because of his start, I think this is a psychological confidence builder to say, hey, you got it done from the beginning to the end. And he's going to sit and take a knee right there, and that's pretty well going to do it.
I have to find out from Coach Vernon what was happening.
Because it was not to rub anything. It's just a matter of coming in and take a knee.
Right.
And that's going to be your final. Hutchinson will win it 41-7 over the Salina South Cougars. And again, with this being the 20th game of this matchup, Hutchinson has dominated. This is Hutchinson's 17th win against three setbacks. Last year it was 42-17. This year it is 41-7. And Hutchinson comes out a victor. We will take a break and get set for the postgame and get into the medicine shop postgame and add up all the numbers for the postgame wrap coming your way in just a little bit, or you're figuring your final from Gowan Stadium. 41-7. Hutchinson a winner night. They even their record now at 3-3. Salina South goes to 1-5 on the season. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout.